Chapter 505. When Gu Qingshan mentioned killing Wang Hongdao again, Zhao Wuchui didn't fly in a rage again. Zhao Wuchui didn't react at all. All the excitement and anger on his face disappeared without a trace. All of his previous emotions disappeared. He stared at Gu Qingshan with a deep gaze. It was as if he had turned into a completely different person. "Yingmei, what do you think we should do?" Zhao Wuchui asked in a low voice. Yingmei smiled bitterly. "At this point, you and I probably won't be able to wait until the day he breathes his last," she said. "Then we can consider letting Qi Yin join us," Zhao Wuchui said. "That's right, after all, he has the new world. You go first." "All right." After discussing, they both looked at Gu Qingshan. Gu Qingshan scowled, not knowing what they're trying to do. Yingmei hesitantly spoke. "Qi Yin." She pulled back her collar to reveal her shoulder. Her snow-white skin was covered in bruises and bruises. But that wasn't the main point. The surface of Yingmei's skin was covered in black runes. These runes were wriggling and jumping as if they were alive, a terrifying sight to behold. As the runes gathered together, they formed a shackle that gave off immense power on Yingmei's body. Gu Qingshan's expression changed. "Such a tight seal. Wait a minute. You're a virtualized realm cultivator. Who would be able to place a seal on you?" Gu Qingshan asked. Yingmei spoke with a bitter voice. "Who do you think could do that?" Gu Qingshan stopped for a few moments. So that's why he sighed deeply. The gentle expression on Yingmei's face disappeared. She simply sat there. Her entire being was terrifyingly calm. "A long time ago, when I was still a golden core cultivator, Master had placed a seal on my body. If I tried to resist his will, he would make me wish I was dead. For the past few years, every time I broke through, Wang Hongdao would strengthen the seal on me. That's why I've lost all freedom ever since Golden Core Realm. I have to listen to him for everything." Saying so, Yingmei slowly put on her clothes. She spoke in a low voice. "I have no way to fight against Wang Hongdao." Gu Qingshan listened quietly and suddenly felt her chest tighten. After fighting and killing for 2 lifetimes, Gu Qingshan could say that she had seen all kinds of enemies. But an enemy as disgusting as Wang Hongdao was very rare. "Forget it, Yingmei sis, you don't have to do anything." Gu Qingshan looked at Zhao Wuchui and said, "If that's the case, then the two of us." Zhao Wuchui shook his head. "I have 81 demonic insects in my body. As long as I have any malicious intent towards him, he can kill me anytime he wants." Zhao Wuchui's expression became sorrowful. "I will become a virtualized realm zombie and become his most loyal fighter. I see." Gu Qingshan nodded at the two, indicating that she understood their situation. At this moment, he finally understood why these 2 virtualized realm cultivators were willing to open their hearts to him. Because as long as they go to the new world, Wang Hongdao wouldn't be able to control them, even if he wanted to. The laws of the new world are different from the previous one, but there are also protective barriers between them. When they are in 2 different worlds, Wang Hongdao can't sense the lock seals on Yingmei's body, nor can he control the demonic insects on Zhao Wuchui's body. This was similar to the soul-guiding lantern that many sects have. Once a cultivator leaves this world, it will immediately go out, as if the cultivator is dead. Separated by 2 worlds, the soul-guiding lantern can't detect the situation of the cultivator in the other world. That's why the new world is Yingmei and Zhao Wuchui's only chance of survival. It's their only chance to escape Wang Hongdao's control. If that wasn't the case, these 2 virtualized realm cultivators wouldn't be so easy to talk to. But they can't do anything. How should we deal with the current situation? Gu Qingshan raised her cup of spirit tea and took a sip. The thin Rakshasa's daughter mask was still on her hand. Gu Qingshan looked at the mask. This mask was made from the purest of top-grade spirit jade. With the help of his divine telekinesis, he could see every detail and the spirit jade-like substance within a mask. It really is only a mask. When the white fox gave me the mask, both Zhao Wuchui and Ying may use their inner sight to check it. I also used my inner sight to check it. The mask wasn't tampered with, so there's nothing wrong with it. But why did Rakshasa's daughter give me this mask? Gu Qingshan stared at the mask. On the mask, Rakshas's daughter was smiling at him. Her alluring face was so real. Fine, now isn't the time to think about that. Gu Qingshan gave up on that thought and began to think about his current situation. Even though everything isn't settled yet, Gu Qingshan was already a lot more relaxed. At least now, he's won a bit more room to maneuver. Gu Qingshan looked away from the mask, glanced at the war god UI, and read through all the glowing text. You've killed Sainted Realm Early Stage Cultivator. Wu San. Obtained soul points. 400. Current soul points remaining. Special quest. Wu San must die. Completed. Quest objective. Before the secret of the two worlds is discovered by others, eliminate this insider. Quest reward. You may choose any other quest and immediately complete it. Description. You may now receive this quest reward. Gu Qingshan's gaze fell onto the darkness at the center of the war god UI. System. Can I directly complete the Sainted Realm Thaumaturgy quest? He silently asked in his mind. Ping. The system let out a clear chime. You must reach Sainted Realm to be able to extract a Sainted Realm Thaumaturgy. This is a natural law of cultivation, as well as the prerequisite for the quest. Gu Qingshan felt a bit regretful. But this is also normal. I haven't even reached Sainted Realm yet. How can I use the power of Sainted Realm to comprehend the laws of this world and extract a thaumaturgy? Seems like I'll have to face my tribulations soon. Gu Qingshan silently thought. Qian, what do you think we should do now? Seeing him in silence, Zhao Wuchue couldn't help but ask. Gu Qingshan muses, if you can't act openly, how about we come up with a way to set up a trap to kill Wang Hongdao? Gu Qingshan suggested. He casually asked, Wang Hongdao is probably not at the sect right now, right? The two hall masters silently nodded. The three of them understood, but didn't say anything. This was a crucial point. Wang Hongdao definitely wouldn't let Qi Ruo Yi successfully face his tribulation. So he must be heading towards the space vortex to interfere with Qi Ruo Yi's tribulation. Seeing how calm Gu Qingshan was, the two hall masters were a bit suspicious. Qian, why aren't you telling your father? Yi Yingmei asked. Or perhaps you and your father already knew that Wang Hongdao was going? Zhao Wuchue also asked. Gu Qingshan smiled. Who cares about them? He casually said. What do you mean? Zhao Wuchue asked. 2 days ago, my father went to face his tribulation. The cryptic spirit lightning tribulation takes about a day and a night. He should have returned by now, but now that I've returned to our world, there's still no news of him. And Wang Hongdao still hasn't returned. This is enough to explain the situation. One of them is a heavily wounded cryptic realm cultivator. The other is facing his tribulation. The two of them fought for a day and night. The result should be out already, theirs. Nothing I can do right now, he asked. The two hall masters slightly nodded. It was indeed, as Qian said. In that kind of dangerous situation, both the ambusher and the ambushed would use their strongest attack. The victor would be decided very quickly. Gu Qingshan continued. If he can't return, and Wang Hongdao hasn't returned yet either, there are 3 possibilities. The first is that my father won, but he's still recovering. This is the best case scenario. You can follow my father and me from now on, but this isn't very likely. Wang Hongdao has been waiting for this day for so many years. He must have made the most thorough plan and preparations. Then we're in the second scenario. Wang Hongdao won, but he still hasn't returned. Obviously, because his wounds have worsened and he has no choice but to heal himself. The third scenario, they both died together. Neither of them will be able to return. Gu Qingshan looked at the two hall masters and smiled. I don't need to worry about the first and third scenarios. But if it's the second scenario, then I need to be careful, seeing how he calmly analyzed the situation. The two hall masters couldn't help but feel a bit of respect for him. One of the parties involved in the battle of life and death was his father, while the other party could decide his life and death at any moment. The two hall masters didn't think they would be able to remain so calm in such a situation. Yingmei and I can't do anything, Zhao Wuchue hesitantly said. It's fine, we'll just have to plan a bit. See if we can take his life without you doing anything, Gu Qingshan said. Zhao Wuchue shook his head. There's never been a trap or a method that can kill a cryptic realm cultivator in one fell swoop. Ying Mei also said, even if there's a powerful trap, even if he's injured, there's still someone who has to face him and kill him. Gu Qingshan went silent. Leave this matter to me. Chapter 506. You'll deal with him? The two hall masters said in unison. Qian, even if Wang Hongdao is heavily wounded, you're still no match for him. Zhao Wuchui couldn't help but say. I know, but this is our only choice right now, Gu Qingshan said. You want to set up a trap for him, but Wang Hongdao is also very skilled in setting up traps. He's an expert in this field. Ying Mei also said. Is there any other way? Gu Qingshan asked. In the current situation, it's either he dies or I die. I'd rather give it my all. That won't do either. We need to reconsider. Zhao Wuchui shook his head. I'll talk to old Zhao first. Qian, wait a bit. Ying Mei also said. Ying Mei and Zhao Wuchui exchanged glances, apparently communicating through inner sight. They began to actively think of ways to deal with their Shifu. Seeing this, Gu Qingshan simply kept her mouth shut. He picked up the tea and slowly took a sip. The current situation was that Sect Master Qiroya and Grand Elder Wang Hongdao had yet to return. Within Guangyang Sect, the two remaining virtualized realm cultivators, Hall Master Zhao and Hall Master Yi, both sided with Qi Yan. In fact, to Gu Qingshan, the two Hall Masters were the most threatening. They were also Wang Hongdao's disciples. Thinking about it this way, it was quite ironic. The elder went to kill the sect leader. The disciple betrayed his master. Everyone's heart was filled with trepidation. None of them had good intentions towards each other. If Wang Hongdao had always treated his disciple well and was deeply loved by his disciple, then at this critical moment, even if there was the temptation of the new world, the two Hall Masters might still stand on his side. However, Wang Hongdao was naturally suspicious and had a strong desire to control, harboring malicious thoughts towards his disciple. Wang Hongdao had used the cruelest methods on his two disciples. His two disciples did not dare to resist such a method. But when it came to a critical moment, everything could easily change. Just like at this moment, Wang Hongdao was not in the sect. His two disciples had always harbored disloyalty. So when Gu Qingshan told them about the new world, they immediately betrayed Wang Hongdao. All they wanted was to get rid of their master. Gu Qingshan took a sip of tea and thought about the whole situation again. For the time being, there was no need to worry about life and death. It all depended on how to kill Wang Hongdao. Cryptic spirit realm. He didn't understand at all. Gu Qingshan picked up the teacup and took another sip. The Rakshas's daughter's mystical jade mask was still on the tea table. Just now, the situation was tense, and every word was a matter of life and death. So he didn't pay much attention to the mask. At this moment, Gu Qingshan relaxed a little, but there was a faint sense of uneasiness in her heart. Rakshasa Peak was the only sect that had not escaped. Rakshas's daughter was the sect master of this sect, yet she gave him this mask. What did she mean? To say that Rakshas's daughter has feelings for Qi Yan would be a joke. Gu Qingshan couldn't believe it herself. There must be a reason for this mask to exist. Since Rakshas's daughter's spiritual pet, the white fox, was not here, he could study this mask. Thinking that, Gu Qingshan couldn't help but pick up Rakshas's daughter's mask. Almost without any warning, the war god UI in his vision suddenly flashed. Gu Qingshan was shocked and couldn't help but want to take off his mask. But in the next second, he still lifted the mask up in front of his eyes, showing a look of appreciation. During the entire process, not even the slightest movement was missed. Gu Qingshan carefully looked at the mask, admiring Rakshas's daughter's beauty. But secretly, his attention was focused on the war god UI. At the bottom of the war god UI, war god skills suddenly glowed red. Lines of blood red text appeared in the middle of the UI. You've discovered Rakshas's daughter's mask. You've obtained Rakshas's face, a mystic-type wonder item, able to use the following unique techniques. Mystery of all things equal. Mystery of all things equal. You will learn how to distinguish the most fundamental components of all things, obtaining the ability to change yourself into a certain substance. Description. You must obtain the components of that substance in order to distinguish its characteristics and laws. Only then will you be able to disguise yourself as that substance. Attention! All things referred to here must be substances without a soul. Special attention. This is not a real artifact, so you cannot learn the mystery from it. The platform was silent. But Gu Shan felt like thunder was exploding right next to his ears. Gu Shan tried his best to keep his expression calm. He put down the Rakshas's mask, picked up the teacup, and took another sip. His actions were exactly the same as before, but he was smiling happily. It was as if he had just finished admiring the beauty of a peerless beauty. Rakshas's daughter's mask really did show off her beauty. What do you think? Gu Shan casually asked the two hallmasters. Wait a moment, Ying Mei answered. She was still communicating with Zhao Wuchui through inner sight. Qing Ro and Wan Er had already been dismissed, so Gu Shan could only pick up the teapot himself and pour himself another cup of tea. He picked up the steaming hot cup of spirit tea. The steam rising from the teacup slightly obscured his face. It was now that Gu Shan regained his composure. He had actually encountered another kind of mystery in this world. This was something he didn't expect at all. The 100,000-year-old giant corpse taught him mystery of all things equal. Mystery of all things equal allowed him to turn into other living beings with souls. But Rakshas's daughter's mystery of all things equal allowed him to turn into living beings without souls. War god skills even made him pay special attention to one thing. This isn't a real artifact, so you won't be able to obtain the secret from it. Then, in other words, the spirit jade mask was Rakshas's daughter. She used mystery of all things equal to turn into the spirit jade mask and left it with Qi Yan. She wanted to investigate Guangyang sect, and she succeeded. The fight between the Grand Elder and the Sect Master, the conspiracy of the three Hall Masters, the existence of two new worlds, she heard everything. Rakshas's daughter heard everything. Gu Shan held back his surging emotions and showed a serious expression. Let me interrupt, he told the two Hall Masters. Before we continue our discussion, there's something I need to trouble Hall Master Zhao with, he continued. What is it? Zhao Wuchui asked. That disciple of mine is about to face his ascension and become sainted. Old Zhao, you're in charge of all the sex formations. I want to ask you for a favor. Zhao Wuchui's expression calmed down and said, That's nothing. He took out a badge and waved it. The badge hovered in front of Gu Shan. Sainted Realm. Let me think. Probably the Black Rune formation inside the Ascension formation. As long as you use the badge to activate it, you'll directly enter the space vortex and face your Sainted Rel tribulation, Zhao Wuchui explained. Ying Mei reminded him, Remember to use the badge first before you can activate the formation. Otherwise, the formation will randomly transport your disciple away. Gu Shan smiled. I know that, but that disciple of mine is a bit of a troublemaker and a sword cultivator. Sometimes he likes to take risks. I really can't do anything about it, no. This isn't something you can joke about, Zhao Wuchui said very seriously. He was still a bit fond of a potential sword cultivator like Gu Shan. Someone like Qi Yan has never taken a disciple before. If he doesn't explain things clearly to his disciple, Gu Shan's fate will be very bleak. Thinking that, Zhao Wuchui said, Qi Yan, you haven't officially taken a disciple yet, nor do you have time to teach one. How about you give Gu Shan to me? I'll teach him our sex sword techniques. Deal with the demonic thing Wang Hong Dao placed on you first. Then we'll talk, Gu Shan casually said. Zhao Wuchui was speechless. Seeing that, Ying Mei quickly tried to mediate. The space vortex is too vast. There's no way to find its borders. The formation will just throw him to a random location. It's hard to say if he'll even be able to return. That's why you have to be strict and tell him to take the badge, she told her. Of course I know that. Gu Shan put the badge away. He immediately changed the topic and asked, How did your discussion go? What can we do? Ying Mei said, Actually, we've also thought of a way to deal with Wang Hong Dao. What way? Gu Shan asked. He looked at Ying Mei, but noticed Rakshas's daughter's spirit jade mask. Rakshas's mask was still sitting on the table, unmoving. She's always been here. Chapter 507. Yi Mei appeared nostalgic and said, "For the past few years, we weren't willing to be controlled by him forever, so we spent a lot of time and resources to silently prepare." Gu Qingshan nodded and gestured for her to continue. Yi Mei replied, "I know what Wang Hongdao's most proficient attacks are, so I secretly made a treasure artifact that can block several of his attacks to counter them." Zhao Wuchui added, "I know where his wounds are the most severe, so I made an offensive treasure tool. Although it can only be used once, it's definitely quite powerful." Yi Mei sighed. "This is something we're prepared to use to take him down with us. You guys haven't had it easy either." While agreeing, Gu Qingshan was quickly thinking about the current situation. Rakshas's daughter was the master of Rakshasa Peak, although her cultivation wasn't the highest because she received Rakshas's inheritance. According to the rules of Rakshasa Peak, even the other 4 cryptic realm cultivators had to listen to her. Even now, she's still disguised as a mask, not moving at all. There's only a single reason why she's acting like this. Just like Yi Mei and Zhao Wuchui, she couldn't tell where Qi Yin hid the coordinates of the 2 worlds. Without the coordinates, she can't find them, nor can she go to those 2 worlds. Without the coordinates, those 2 worlds are like the moon in the water or a tower in the sky. Impossible to find. That's why even though Wu San exposed the existence of the new world, he doesn't know the coordinates. For the 2 Hall Masters and Rakshas's daughter, this is all empty talk without any real meaning. The 2 Hall Masters have no choice but to cooperate with Qi Yin. Rakshas's daughter can only continue to disguise herself to find out more about the new world. Thinking this through, Gu Qingshan calmed down a bit. He reached his hand out. "Give me both of your treasures. I'll kill Wang Hongdao. Are you sure? But you're only at virtualized initial realm." Yi Mei looked at him and asked, "I'm not like you. I don't have to worry about a lot of situations. Not to mention, you're all under Wang Hongdao's restraints, so you can't use your full strength. If you can't kill him, I'll definitely die at his hands. If that's the case, I might as well fight for my life myself. That way I'll be more assured." The 2 Hall Masters listened quietly and understood Qi Yan's thoughts. Zhao Wuchui spoke in a low voice. "To prevent Wang Hongdao from knowing our secret, we don't even dare to carry the treasures we crafted with us, only hiding them on a small, floating island. Furthermore, there's several seals on the treasures. Other than us, no one can touch them." Yi Mei replied, "It will take a bit of time to undo the seal. One of you go get it. We'll wait here." Gu Qingshan said briefly. Yi Mei hesitantly spoke. "Qi Yin, to be honest, I can't trust someone like you at all." Zhao Wuchui also nodded. "That's easy." Gu Qingshan raised her hand and swore. "If you give me the treasure, I will do everything in my power to fight Wang Hongdao to the death. If I break this promise, may the heavens and earth destroy me." Invisible wind and qi swirled around his body, and a buzzing sound came from the sky. The vow was made. Seeing the heavenly poison oath, Yi Mei smiled. But Zhao Wuchui only stared at Gu Qingshan for a while without saying anything. A complicated emotion flashed through his eyes. Qi Yin had forced himself into a dead end. He had to fight Wang Hongdao to the death. With the heavenly poison oath, who wouldn't trust Qi Yan's decision? "This kind of sincerity is acceptable," Yi Mei commented. At this point, she was actually a bit impressed by Qi Yin. Decisive, heartless, daring to swear a heavenly oath, not trusting anyone at all, willing to risk his life against a cryptic realm elder than to give the initiative to someone else. This is a poisonous snake that can't be messed with easily. Yi Mei suddenly felt a bit fortunate. Fortunate that she didn't fight Qi Yin from the start. Retrieving the 2 treasures and undoing the seal will take a bit of time, Yi Mei said. "According to our information, Shifu won't return for the next half a day." Zhao Wuchui spoke in a low voice. "Very well. Then one of you go get the treasures first." Gu Qingshan stood up and said. "Where are you going now?" Zhao Wuchui stared at his movements and asked. Gu Qingshan didn't answer, only walked to the edge of the platform and waved at Qingro. "Gongzi." Qingro came up and asked. "Let's go back." Yes, Qingro came up, held his hand, and stood next to him. It was now that Gu Qingshan turned around. I'm going to tell Qingshan about his breakthrough. I'll be back soon. The two hall masters were surprised. Right? Qian's disciple is about to break through to Sainted Realm. After I return, I'll be waiting for you here. Saying so, Gu Qingshan was about to leave. But then he stopped, turned around, and said, Ingmei sis, you go get them. Old Zhao is currently the strongest cultivator in the sect. He has to stay here to protect the sect. Ying Mei also agreed. Right now, the two cryptic realm cultivators aren't in the sect, and I'm about to leave as well. If the other sects attack at this time, that would be a real joke. At such a crucial moment, Qian was still able to consider the whole situation. His status as Zhan Wei Hall's hall master wasn't bad. She glanced at Zhao Wuchue. Zhao Wuchue said, I'll stay here, don't worry, then I'll go get the treasure tools, Ying Mei said. Seeing that everything was settled, Gu Qingshan brought Qing Ro back to her own courtyard. Ying Mei also stepped out of the formation's barrier. Her figure flashed and disappeared into the sky. Only Zhao Wuchue remained on the platform, silently waiting for the two of them. Time slowly passed. At some point, Zhao Wuchue remembered something. Damn it, I still got tricked by that brat Qian, Zhao Wuchue muttered in annoyance. That brat didn't mention anything about pursuing Rakshas's daughter. Does he have other plans? Zhao Wuchue looked at where Qian was sitting. On the tea table, Rakshas's daughter's mask had already been taken away by Qian. Zhao Wuchue's expression slowly turned grim. Qian really isn't easy to deal with. Even if I ask him again, he probably won't tell me his true thoughts. Fortunately, Qian is about to risk his life against Wang Hongdao. Zhao Wuchue contemplated. Qian risking his life against Wang Hongdao. In this situation, no matter what I do, it'll still be advantageous. Zhao Wuchue nodded. Zhao Wuchue didn't have to wait for long. Qian returned to the high platform and sat down on his seat. Qing Ro brought a cup of spirit tea to Qian's mouth. That was fast, Zhao Wuchue commented. I don't really need to worry about that disciple of mine, Qian replied. Your disciple is a good seed of a sword cultivator. I can feel that his sword spirit is very real. He might even surpass you and me in the future, Zhao Wuchue tried asking. Have you prepared the spirit stones for the ascension? I don't remember how many spirit stones it takes to activate the Sainted Tribulation formation, Qian answered without changing his expression. I'm guessing you won't remember that either. I'll tell you, it's a total of 49 spirit stones, not a single one less. Zhao Wuchue spoke very seriously. 49 spirit stones? Shanu thought for a bit. There was a time when Gu Qingshan asked her if she needed spirit stones. Gu Qingshan alone had over 100 boxes of spirit stones in her inventory bag. 49 spirit stones. Thinking about how scarce resources this world was, Shanu had no choice but to play along with Zhao Wuchue. Qian scowled. Why does it need so many spirit stones? Zhao Wuchue replied. Sainted Realm is no longer a small matter. You need to fill up the formation with spirit stones. Just in case the formation suddenly fails during your disciple's ascension. I've already given Gu Qingshan over 100 spirit stones. Even if she wants to use other high-level formations, these spirit stones should be more than enough. You don't need to say anything else hearing that. Zhao Wuchue was a bit surprised. Qian still has that many spirit stones? From Qian's tone, he seems to have a few more in reserve. That doesn't seem right. Qian has always been a spendthrift person. He has a record of every spirit stone he uses during the public event. He shouldn't have that many spirit stones left, right? Zhao Wuchue suddenly regained his senses. Right, the new world. Zhao Wuchue clenched his fist. Qian now has 2 new worlds. While Zhao Wuchue was thinking, Shanu didn't say anything else to him and tapped her inventory bag to take out a pill and swallowed it. Last time in the New World, when I fought against that sword cultivator, I was wounded a bit, so I need to meditate and rest. When Maces comes back, we'll talk about business. Saying so, Shanu sat cross-legged to meditate and began to meditate. Recuperating was the best excuse. Even though she has Gu Qingshan's experience and skills, Shanu doesn't have Gu Qingshan's decisiveness. This is the unique nature and wisdom of a living being. It can't be replicated through any thaumaturgy. Facing such a complicated and treacherous situation, Gu Qing will have to do it herself. So Shanna's main task is to stall for time. Stall until Gu Qing finishes her ascension and successfully breaks through to Sainted Realm. The Ascended Realm Lightning Tribulation's difficulty lies in the fact that it lasts for a day and a night, testing a cultivator's willpower and stamina. The Sainted Realm Lightning Tribulation's duration isn't that long, but the difficulty lies in the fact that the power of the lightning will increase to a terrifying level, killing a cultivator if they aren't careful. Once they break through to Projection Realm, they'll be the same as Hundred Flowers Fairy, facing both wind and lightning tribulations. Gu Qing has to face the Sainted Realm Lightning Tribulation, so he has to destroy all the lightning in order to complete his ascension. If possible, he needs a hurry, because Shannu won't be able to stall for too long. Once Ying Mei returns, the three Hall Masters will officially start planning and strategizing to deal with Wang Hongdao. If Gu Qing still hasn't returned by then, Shannu will have no choice but to continue acting as him. She has Gu Qing skills and experience, as well as her acting skills, but she definitely won't be able to reach Gu Qing level. What kind of people are the two Hall Masters? As long as Qi Yin makes a single mistake, the truth will be exposed. At this time, on the platform, Shannu quickly meditated. Seeing that, Zhao Wuchue knew that she was trying to heal herself. He sighed unnoticeably, feeling a bit annoyed. Originally, he wanted to use the matter of his disciple to slowly lead the topic to the new world or Rakshas's daughter, but Qi Yin reacted like this. Now it's not a good idea to bother him. After all, Qi Yin is going to fight Wang Hongdao to the death. Zhao Wuchue went silent and silently sat there. Chapter 508. On the other side, with a badge in hand, Gu Qing was quickly heading towards the warp formation to face her tribulation. Shanna used Mystery of All Beings Equal to turn into Qi Yin and head towards the platform. She won't be able to hold on for long. Gu Qing has to quickly face her tribulation and return to swap identities with Shannu. The Sainted Realm tribulation doesn't take too long. This was the reason why Gu Qing decided to face it at the last minute. The hardest part of breaking through to Sainted Realm is the power of the lightning. While Ying Mei went to get the treasure tool and Wang Hong Dao hasn't returned yet, he decided to break through to Sainted Realm first. Gu Qing was racing against time. Furthermore, Rakshas's daughter also knew about Shenwu World. But Rakshas's daughter didn't know that her disguise had been seen through by Gu Qing using War God skills. Therefore, she still waited patiently to see what the three Hall Masters would do next. Whether it was Wang Hongdao, Rakshas's daughter, or the two Hall Masters, they were all at least 3 to 4 realms higher than Gu Qing. The situation was extremely dangerous. Gu Qing had to think of a way to prevent these people from knowing the secrets of Shenwu World and the Cultivation World. He had to think of a way to escape from this world as soon as possible. This was an unprecedented situation. The Sex Warp Formation was located at the bottom of the floating island. Gu Qing quickly arrived here. He took a deep breath. Among the dozens of formations of different sizes, the Black Formation was extremely eye-catching. Gu Qing purposefully looked at all the formations. According to the records, there were a total of 4 Void Tribulation formations here. The one that was glowing faintly was the Ascended Realm Tribulation Formation. Ascended Realm cultivators and below can use this formation to travel into the space vortex. Similarly, Guangyang sect used this formation to set up a small area of land in the space vortex and specifically set up several tribulation formations. When these formations are combined, they can trigger the suspended world's lightning tribulation without alerting the realm demon. Cultivators below Ascended Realm can safely face their tribulation there. Such a high level of array formation was truly breathtaking. Gu Qing turned to look. The spirit formation he was going to use was the Black Spirit Formation on the other side. From Sainted Realm to Tribulation Realm, The power of the lightning tribulation far exceeds the capacity of the previous formation. Gu Shan has to face her tribulation in this black formation. Outside of the black formation, there were two other formations: the Great Void Tribulation Formation and the Xianling Tribulation Array. One was specifically used to break through to the virtualized realm, while the other was a formation for cultivators to break through to the cryptic realm. Gu Shan's gaze fell upon the Xianling Tribulation Array. This was the most powerful Dharma formation. 196 spirit stones were needed to activate this formation. In the suspended world, this was already an extremely high price. But Gu Shan's focus was not on this. 196 spirit stones were enough to create the strongest tribulation transcending formation in the space vortex. Ever since Gu Shan started cultivating, he had never heard of such a thing before. Even Gong Sun Ji of the cultivation world couldn't use such a large-scale formation with only 196 spirit stones. Gu Shan slowed down and carefully stopped at the edge of the Xianling Tribulation Array. He also put Zhao Wuchui's formation token away. He should be taking this time to break through into the space vortex. But from Gu Shan's expression, he doesn't seem to be in a hurry at all. He took out 196 spirit stones and placed them on the Xianling Tribulation Array. The formation was instantly activated. This was the most powerful Xianling Tribulation Array in the entire world. Gu Shan immediately took out an inventory bag. He didn't even look at it as he took the inventory bag and entered the center of the Xianling Tribulation Array. As soon as the formation sensed his spirit energy waves, it began to activate. Countless runes appeared, forming an inexplicable combination in the air. The formation was activated. Gu Shan abruptly activated Ground Shrink. He instantly disappeared and reappeared outside the formation. The storage bag was left in the spell formation, and as the spell formation operated, it was instantly teleported away. Gu Shan didn't use the token. Without the token, the formation would only randomly teleport once. Due to the power of the Xianling Tribulation Array, as well as the fact that Gu Shan used up a lot of spirit stones, the range of this random teleportation will be very wide. The inventory bag will be teleported to a place that no one knows about. The pitiful Rakshasa's daughter turned into a spirit jade mask and was placed inside the inventory bag without knowing anything about this. She was still waiting for a chance to stay by Qi Yan's side to find out the secret of the new world that even the two Hall Masters don't know about. The light of the formation slowly faded. The teleportation was complete. 196 spirit stones turned to dust. Gu Shan's expression loosened a bit. He had never heard of a living person being trapped inside an inventory bag before. But Rakshasa's daughter must have a way. Otherwise, she wouldn't have dared to turn into a mask. Right now, I can only hope that I'm lucky enough to teleport to a place far enough away so that Rakshasa's daughter won't be able to return. I can only hope that Rakshasa's daughter is a bit more patient. The more patient she is, the later she'll find out about her true situation. Gu Shan turned around and walked in front of the black formation. After putting all the spirit stones into the holes around the formation, he walked into the teleportation formation. Tapping his inventory bag, Gu Shan took out the warp token again. Next, it's time to face the tribulation. As the black formation was activated by the spirit stones, it sensed the token in Gu Shan's hand and let out a light that enveloped him. Gu Shan disappeared. This was a restricted area of the space vortex. Thanks to Guangyang Sex formation, the wind currents couldn't enter this area. The monsters that roamed the space vortex also couldn't reach this place. When they came here, they would immediately activate the directional warp formation. The directional warp formation would directly transport them to the realm demon. No matter how strange the monsters were, as long as they were in front of the realm demon, they would only be a piece of cake. This was the beauty of formations. Gu Shan was floating in the void of space. There was nothing beneath his feet. There was only endless darkness around him. Occasionally, some light could be seen. A line of glowing text quickly appeared in his retina. The Sainted Realm tribulation is about to begin. Gu Shan glanced over and focused his thoughts. In a split second, the Earth Sword and Chao Yin Sword appeared on his left and right. It's about to begin, Gu Shan muttered. Once I reach Sainted Realm, my strength will greatly increase. Combined with the reward from completing the Wu San Must Die special quest, I'll be able to immediately obtain a Sainted Realm thaumaturgy. At a crucial moment like this, every bit of power I have will mean a different outcome. You want to face the tribulation? The Earth Sword's heavy voice came. That's right. And this time, I'm going to be a bit faster, Gu Shan answered. You're always fast, the Earth Sword commented. During the Rejuvenation Realm Tribulation in Shun Wu World, Gu Shan used it to defeat the demon army. During the Rejuvenation Realm Tribulation in reality, Gu Shan was wearing a headset, paying attention to the frost rain while facing the tribulation. And this time, it was the Sainted Realm Tribulation. In the past life, no player had ever reached this point. The amount of EXP required was too high, so high that it made people despair. Now that I think about it, that wasn't a good thing at all. Gu Shan also seemed a bit shaken. He sighed and quickly adjusted his emotions. As a human in reality, this was a milestone that marked the beginning of an era. Gu Shan was prepared to do everything he could. He checked the sainted pill that Zhao Wuchui gave Shanu, then ate it. Gu Shan reached both hands out to hold the two swords. Inside his dantian, his spirit energy was growing stronger and stronger without stopping. The sainted pill really is a good thing. In just a few moments, Gu Shan regained his calm. His expression became focused. Using formations to face a tribulation in the space vortex, this is a miraculous method that even I have never seen before, the Earth Sword praised. Gu Shan replied, There are no Tianma in this world, nor any other monsters to harass us, so we can and must be faster. Then you can't listen to the songs, the Earth Sword seriously said. The Chaoyin sword vibrated in agreement. We won't listen to the songs this time. We're going to start right away, Gu Shan said. He circulated the spirit energy inside his body and began to break through to the next realm. Immediately, one of the spell formations among the many layers of spell formations reacted to the changes in his body in a miraculous way. This was the convergence of the suspended world's heaven and man spirit energy, which was guided into the space vortex by the formation. Strands of lightning began to seep through the gap between the space vortex and the world. Before these strands of lightning could gather, Gu Shan had already scattered them with a swing of his sword. But the lightning continued to flow like a tidal wave from the suspended world, manifesting into countless bolts of lightning that gave off terrifying power. The lightning was coming from all directions. Go! Gu Shan lightly shouted. The Earth Sword flew out, quickly flying through the void of space. Being slashed by the Earth Sword, the bolts of lightning were scattered. Arcs of lightning rained down like stars in the sky. As if it had sensed the dissipating power of the lightning, a layer of the formation was immediately activated. All the lightning bolts that were scattered couldn't regroup and were expelled from this area of the tribulation by the formation. Being able to do this with just formations, how unbelievable, Gu Shan praised. The cultivation civilization of the suspended world was also able to survive against the realm demon thanks to their high level of understanding and formations. This was the power of a civilization. Unfortunately, against a true demon lord, this power was still too weak. Gu Shan wielded the Chao Yin sword in his hand and flew into the lightning. Layers upon layers of sharp sword phantoms spread out, chasing after the streaks of lightning in the void of space, trying to kill them. This time, Gu Shan was giving it his all. None of the lightning that appeared in the void of space could escape from his sword phantoms. 1 slash, 10 slashes, 1,000 slashes. He was fully focused on dealing with the tribulation, not giving it a chance to gather again. It's been a long time since I've seen you this serious, the Earth Sword spoke. Life forced me. Saying so, Gu Shan swung his sword without stopping. Chapter 509. The lightning was as bright as the stars. Thousands of stars swirled like a storm in the void of space. Gu Shan stood at the center of the storm, raising his sword. Sword images bloomed and clashed with the stars. The stars fell like rain. Such a response seemed to have angered all the stars. The cold stars transformed into enormous balls of lightning, illuminating the entire tribulation transcending formation with a blue light. Gu Shan tried to cut one of the clusters of lightning apart. Boom! The lightning scattered into countless snakes of lightning, quickly rushing towards him. Without any time to react, Gu Shan turned into a large white crescent sword phantom and charged forward. The white crescent sword phantom cut through all the snakes of lightning and appeared on the other side of the tribulation formation. The Chaoyin sword let out a concerned woo-woo sound. That's right, I didn't think it would be so hard to deal with either. Gu Shan looked at the layers of lightning behind him and replied. There were too many of them, and each one of them was much more powerful than any tribulation lightning he had faced before. After the lightning was cut apart, it would turn into twisting snakes of lightning to attack him again. It was unknown how many cultivators had fallen to these continuous attacks. This was the sainted realm tribulation. In an entire cultivation world, only the 3 saints managed to make it through. Almost 100 clusters of lightning flew towards him. As if they were alive, they circled around Gu Shan, seemingly looking for a weakness. Gu Shan didn't wait for them to attack and attacked first. Go! The sword phantom flashed. The Chaoyin sword flashed and destroyed all the clusters of lightning. In a split second, countless snakes of lightning came at him like a tidal wave. Looking at the sea of lightning, the Earth Sword suddenly said, "Did you forget something?" "What?" "I forgot to wear my equipment." Gu Shan face-palmed. "I'm so busy that I'm confused." A second later, a full set of light golden armor appeared on his body. He then changed his war god title to UG General. This way, both his defense and speed were increased. Gu Shan faced the endless lightning and swung his sword. His movements were fast and efficient, without the slightest bit of superfluous movement or hesitation. For a moment, the sword light and the lightning intertwined. Gu Shan charged into the lightning formation and activated secret art, Drawn Shadow. Once, twice, 3 times, 10 times. He activated Drawn Shadow 10 times. Sword shadows fluttered in the air, and all the tribulation lightning in the void was cut into pieces. The tribulation lightning immediately turned into countless electric snakes, crazily attacking Gu Shan. Gu Shan exerted all her strength and used all her secret swords. The sword light was like the tide, vast and mighty. The 2 streams of sword chi converged and fused, turning into a huge flood that dispersed all the lightning. The sword light whizzed forward. The entire void became empty. This was almost a decisive blow. After this confrontation, the number of lightning bolts in the void gradually decreased. Gu Shan was getting more and more relaxed. Finally, there were no more thunderbolts. Gu Shan waited for a while longer. As expected, no monsters or heavenly demons appeared. A new line of glowing text appeared on the War God UI. The Sainted Realm Tribulation is over. Gu Shan's spirit energy began to increase. This was an unprecedentedly large increase. He was now a Sainted Realm cultivator. Closing his eyes, Gu Shan silently savored the changes in himself. His maximum soul points increased to 400. His spirit energy doubled. His lifespan increased by 1,800 years. His thoughts became clearer than ever before. This feeling was similar to when he was blindfolded before. He began to sense the mysteries of all things, as if he could even sense the consequences of what he did in the past would happen in the future. This was the power of his breakthrough, bringing him into contact with some sort of law or mystery. As time passed, this miraculous feeling slowly faded away. Sainted Realm. Gu Shan sighed emotionally. Finally, I've reached a height that I couldn't reach in the past life. Gu Shan took out the badge, infused it with spirit energy, and swung it at the formation. A few moments later, he was transported back to the suspended world. The conference platform. Qian's expression changed a bit as he stood up to leave. Zhao Wuchue glanced at him and couldn't help but ask, "Where are you going?" "My disciple's business," Qian replied. Zhao Wuchue was surprised. How could the sainted realm tribulation be so fast? Unless he failed, but that can't be with that brat's strength. He released his inner sight and scanned the entire suspended island. The virtualized realm's inner sight spread across the void of space, almost immediately discovering Guqin Shan. Guqin Shan's spirit energy waves were indeed different from before. Zhao Wuchue scanned again with his inner sight in disbelief. It really is Sainted Realm. Zhao Wuchue couldn't say anything for a while. After a while, he sighed emotionally. The younger generation will surpass the older. Guqin Shan flew toward Qian's courtyard. While flying, he was looking at the war god UI. There's no need to wait any longer. It's best to resolve this as soon as possible. System, I want to use the special quest reward to immediately complete the Sainted Realm War God Thaumaturgy quest, Guqin Shan said. Ting. Special quest, Wu San must die. Reward result. Choose a quest and immediately complete it. Following your request, use this reward to immediately obtain the Sainted Realm War God Thaumaturgy. This reward has been used. The system is currently connecting to the world origin to obtain the Thaumaturgy. Please wait. The system went silent. Guqin Shan waited for a while, but the system still didn't respond. Before he knew it, he had already arrived in front of Qian's courtyard. One Air was waiting for him at the door. Is Shifu not back yet? Guqin Shan asked. I'm coming, in the sky. Qian was bringing Qing Ro back. The four of them met up, entered the courtyard, and closed the door. Inside the room, Qian's appearance slowly disappeared, turning into a cold blue dress girl. Congratulations, Gongzi, for breaking through to Sainted Realm, Shan has said. How are things on your side? Guqin Shan asked. I did as you said and closed my eyes to heal myself. That Zhao Wuche didn't suspect anything. That's good, Guqin Shan sighed in relief. What do we do now? Shanu asked. Switch back. You'll continue to be me. I'll continue to be Qi Yin, Guqin Shan said. Shanu nodded and activated Mystery of All Beings Equal. A few moments later, she turned back into Guqin Shan. The only difference from before was that this time, Guqin Shan was already a Sainted Realm cultivator. How strong Guqin Shan was, Shana would be as strong as she was now. This was determined by her thaumaturgy, Living's wisdom. Guqin Shan tapped his inventory bag, took out another vial of genetic serum, and injected it into himself. His appearance slowly changed to take on Qian's appearance. The main reason was that Shanu was too cold. Even if she had full marks in acting, she wouldn't be able to do as well as Guqin Shan did. To be able to act as she pleased in front of the two Hall Masters and be able to act decisively in times of danger, she needed more than just acting. That's why when facing two virtualized realm cultivators, Guqin Shan couldn't risk leaving the decision-making to Shanu. He could only do it himself. Very well. We need to get to the meeting platform right now, just in case something unexpected happens, Guqin Shan said. Qing Ro opened the door. The four of them came out one by one. Guqin Shan glanced at the war god UI, but the entire UI was still silent. Not a single sound could be heard. That's strange. Nothing like this had ever happened before. What's going on with the system? Now that I think about it, when I obtained Shadow Shift, the system was also connected to Shunwu World's origin. At the time, the thaumaturgy's ability to sense and extract was displayed. Chapter 510. The System. Guqin Shan silently muttered in his mind. Silence reigned. The system's clear answer didn't come out. Guqin Shan was silently surprised. Since when has such a thing ever happened before? He really wanted to look into this, but he didn't have the time right now. Ying Mei was about to return. The three Hall Masters were about to discuss how to deal with Wang Hong Dao. If I'm late, the other two Hall Masters might be suspicious. Guqin Shan's body moved as fast as he could towards the platform. A few moments later, he arrived at the platform. Just in time. Ying Mei had also just returned. These are two treasures that we've been preparing for many years. They're extremely powerful. Make sure you find the right time to use them, Ying-mei told him. Saying so, she opened her hands. Two balls of light, one red and one blue, silently hovered above her hands. Within the red light, there was a spike as thin as a strand of hair. Just by hovering in the air, the spike was letting out a sharp, screeching noise. The space around the spike was constantly being torn apart. It was easy to imagine just how powerful this treasure would be once it's activated. Inside the blue light was a crystal-clear, top-grade spirit talisman. It was a talisman carved from a top-grade spiritual jade. Different from the red light, it didn't give off any strange aura. As Gu Qingshan's gaze fell on the spirit jade talisman, she couldn't help but feel a sense of security. This is a talisman I made. It can block one of Wang Hong Dao's attacks, which means you only have one chance to attack, Ying-mei told her. Gu Qingshan nodded. Ying-mei's forte was talisman crafting. The gift she gave Gu Qingshan before was a defensive talisman. It was clear that she was quite skilled in this field. All right, leave the rest to me, Gu Qingshan said. Ying-mei hesitated. Looking at the two powerful treasures, she was a bit reluctant to part with them. Ying-mei's sis Gu Qingshan softly said, "You're only paying with your worldly possessions, but I'm putting my life on the line." Zhao Wuchui also sent his voice to Ying-mei through inner sight. "Give it to him, even if he fails and gets killed. That's his problem. Wang Hong Dao won't find out that we were part of it." Hearing that, Ying-mei hesitated. This was a treasure that she and Zhao Wuchui spent a lot of time and effort to craft. But now, this treasure was going to be given away. Her gaze fell on the magic treasure, unwilling to look away for a moment. At this moment, the sky suddenly turned even darker. In an instant, the floating islands that covered the entire sky all lost their bright spiritual light. As if they had sensed something, all the islands stopped moving. The cultivators who were still active on the island sped up and hurried back to their rooms. This was a rule that every sect followed, to prevent spies from other sects from taking the opportunity to destroy the formation when danger hour arrived. On the high platform, the three hall masters sat motionlessly. This was the sect's territory, different from Qian's private island. Qian's private island only had a small quarantine formation. Once danger hour arrived, they could only stay inside the quarantine formation without moving, while Guangyang's sect's floating island only had a quarantine formation around it. Cultivators didn't need to specifically find a place to hide. Even so, the expressions of the three hall masters also changed. Zhao Wuchui took out a talisman and looked at it. The talisman had the words danger and fortune flashing on it. Finally, the word danger took up the entire talisman. Danger hour arrived. A heavy roar came from the ground. This roar filled the entire world, as if announcing the death of all things. The realm demon had awakened. The entire world fell silent. No living beings dared to make a single sound. Inside the quarantine formation, Ying-mei listened to the realm demon's roar. "Something's wrong," Ying-mei muttered. "Why do I feel like it woke up a bit faster this time?" Zhao Wuchui took out a thick stack of talismans, carefully looked through them one by one before putting them all away. "That's right," he spoke with a very certain tone. "For the past few dozen days, it has been waking up about half an hour earlier than usual." The two of them went silent. The realm demon was waking up more and more frequently, faster and faster. Will there be a day when it won't sleep anymore? If that's the case, how are the cultivators going to face this unstoppable demon? Without spirit stones to replenish it, the quarantine formation won't last forever. At that time, everyone will just die. Gu Qingshan looked at the two of them and finally spoke. "This world will eventually come to an end. Ying-mei sis, it's time for you to give it your all." Ying-mei looked at him and felt relieved. "That's right, with the realm demon here, this world is going to end sooner or later. Why not take this chance and give it your all? Since you've sworn the oath to heaven and earth, I can give it to you. But you have to remember, Wang Hong Dao has been stuck in Cryptic Realm for many years. He has countless tricks up his sleeves that you can't even imagine," Ying-mei said. Zhao Wuchui also reminded her. Even now, I still can't say that I fully understand his true strength. The same goes for me, Ying Mei said. Even after so many years by his side, I still don't know how strong he really is. As soon as you find a chance, you have to give it your all. Don't hold back, and don't have any illusions, Zhao Wuchue continued. Seeing how serious the two of them were, Gu Qingshan's expression also became serious. Don't worry, this is related to my life and death, so I'll definitely give it my all. Seeing his attitude, the two hall masters were very pleased. Ying Mei lightly raised her hand. One blue and one red. Two balls of light floated in front of Gu Qingshan. Gu Qingshan carefully put the two treasures away. Old Zhao, there's one more thing. Go ahead, I've already collected a bit of information about Wang Hong Dao, from which I know that he grew up in a sect. He also practices the sect's blade techniques and secret arts. That's true. What do you think? Gu Qingshan replied. Xiangji Hall is responsible for the sect's resources, including the sect's treasures. I want to go to Xiangji Hall to take a look at the secret arts that Wang Hong Dao practices. Zhao Wuchue hesitated. Some of the secret arts are so powerful that Wang Hong Dao doesn't allow anyone else in the sect to look at them. Not to mention, only Wang Hong Dao and I have a key to the sect's secret arts. Many of them were personally chosen by Wang Hong Dao. Do I really have to give Qi Yin the authority to look at them all now? As a cryptic realm cultivator, Wang Hong Dao's insight and methods are naturally not something a normal cultivator can compare to. The secret arts that he's looking for are priceless. While Zhao Wuchue was hesitant, Ying Mei smiled from the side. Old Zhao, do you still want to be a watchdog at a time like this? Her tone was a bit teasing. Hearing that, Zhao Wuchue nodded. That's right. All of the techniques that Wang Hong Dao has collected are very difficult to understand. They're very difficult to understand. Learning them isn't something that can be done in a day or two. And Qi Yin is about to risk his life. In such a short amount of time, the most he can do is learn a bit about the secret arts to better understand Wang Hong Dao's methods. Under the current situation, Qi Yin can't learn those things right away. Most importantly, Wang Hong Dao had already set up dozens of extremely powerful restrictive spells to protect himself. Other than Wang Hong Dao, if anyone else tries to touch the Jade Tag, the Jade Tag will immediately shatter. If Qi Yin tries to touch the Jade Tag, and it shatters, that's fine too. From then on, other than Wang Hong Dao, no one else will know how to control the demon insect Gu on his body. That's why he doesn't need to worry about Gu Qingshan looking at the secret arts. Perhaps this is actually a good thing for me. Take it. Thinking it through, Zhao Wuchue took out a seal and threw it to Gu Qingshan. Gu Qingshan caught the seal and held it in her hand. That's more like it. Old Zhao, the more I understand Wang Hong Dao, the more confident I'll be in killing him. Gu Qingshan smiled and said. Ying Mei told him, you have to carefully look at those techniques. Although Wang Hong Dao is an expert with a blade, he also likes to study corpse-type techniques. In the past few years, he's already grasped many powerful corpse-type techniques. Don't worry, I'll look at them very carefully, Gu Qingshan said. He then turned around. Gu Qingshan, your disciple is here. Shanu stepped forward and answered. Gu Qingshan ordered. Since you've reached Sainted Realm, come with your master and pick out a few sword techniques or techniques. Zhao Wuchue muttered to himself and couldn't help but stop her. Wang Hong Dao doesn't know any sword techniques. He's a blade user. There's no harm in looking at them. There's nothing to lose. It'll at least broaden his horizons, Gu Qingshan said. Shanu immediately replied. Your disciple will follow your words, Master. Gu Qingshan then brought Gu Qingshan with her and left without looking back. Zhao Wuchue still wanted to say something, but the master and disciple pair had already left the platform and went far away. Seems like they don't want to listen to anything I say. Chapter 511. Guangyang Sect's collection was something that Gu Qingshan cared a lot about. This place was a higher civilization than the cultivation world, so their formation techniques were unparalleled. Gu Qingshan brought Shanu, Qingro, and Wan Air with him as he flew towards Incense Ji Hall. They didn't run into anyone on the way. Gu Qingshan looked around. Other than them, there wasn't anyone else on the island. It wasn't the same for Guangyang's sect's floating island. A strange, deathly stillness enveloped all the floating islands in the sky. Every sect's cultivators were forced to stay in their designated areas. Since there were quarantine formations, they didn't need to hide at all. But every sect had to restrain their disciples during the danger hour. This was a code of conduct that was learned from many painful experiences. Qi Yin wasn't restricted by this. As the son of the sect master, as well as one of the three hall masters, he naturally had special authority. Wan Er. Gu Qingshan suddenly stopped and called out to Wan Er. Gongzi, I'm here. What's the situation? Gu Qingshan pointed in a certain direction and asked. Wan Er was a bit surprised and couldn't help but look in the direction Gu Qingshan was pointing. Not too far away in the sky, black lights were appearing one after another. The black lights were forming mouths full of sharp teeth, appearing in large numbers. These black mouths were about 4 to 5 stories tall, each opening and closing occasionally, as if sensing or waiting for something. These were the realm demons' unconscious bodies. These unconscious bodies had surrounded another floating island not too far away. Wan Er's expression changed when she saw this. She couldn't help but take a step back and grab Qing Ro's hand. It's okay. Don't be afraid. Qing Ro lightly hugged Wan Er and said. Wan Er was already trembling, sticking close to Qing Ro, unable to say a word. Gongzi, Qing Ro looked at Gu Qingshan and explained, the realm demons' unconscious bodies have sensed the presence of spirit energy, so they're all surrounding it. Waiting for what? Waiting. Before Qing Ro could finish, the situation changed. At this point, the realm demon's unconscious form had almost completely covered the entire island. However, a flying boat rushed out from the island. The flying boat spotted a gap and abruptly sped up, passing through the encirclement of the unconscious bodies. Gu Qingshan squinted her eyes and looked carefully. On the flying ship, 7 or 8 formations flashed from time to time. Obviously, they had taken sufficient safety measures. One of the arrays caused the air around the flying ship to distort and ripple. This was the phenomenon produced by the barrier circle. Because of these formations, the realm demon's unconscious body didn't notice the airship at all. The flying boat flashed past and disappeared into the distance. On the floating island, however, there were countless screams of despair. No, sect leader, you can't abandon us. You stole the last of the sect. You don't deserve to be the sect master. Wang Bishi, I will not let you go even if I become a ghost. The moment these sounds erupted, the entire floating island let out a rumbling sound. The spiritual light that surrounded the entire island collapsed layer by layer and dissipated into nothingness. All the formations were gone. The unconscious bodies that had been waiting for a long time were all excited. They opened their mouths wide and jumped towards the floating island. At the very next moment, a blinding light shot to the sky. Boom! All of the unconscious bodies were shattered into pieces. A middle-aged man stood in the air, dispelling the hand seals in his hand. His spirit energy waves weren't much different from Ying, Mei, and Zhao Wuchue. He was a virtualized late-stage cultivator. Even in this world, he was an extremely powerful existence. Even after destroying all the unconscious bodies, the middle-aged man didn't feel proud at all. He anxiously shouted, Elders and disciples, quickly take out all the spirit stones you've been hiding and activate the formation, otherwise we'll all die. On the island, the cultivators hurriedly gathered their spirit stones. Gongzi, they won't make it, Qing Ro whispered. Why? Gu Qingshan asked. Even the usually calm Qing Ro showed a hint of fear on her face. She said, the realm demon's conscious body has arrived. This means that the realm demon has discovered them. Wan Er spoke with a trembling voice. Gongzi, look, that's the realm demon's tree. Gu Qingshan looked. Strands of bright red flesh shot up into the sky like giant trees that reached the heavens. These pieces of flesh came from the realm demon. The tree-like pieces of flesh quickly grew and grew stronger. They grew many branches. The branches were filled with bright red fruits. The densely packed fruits split open. Pieces of human skin fell out and hovered in the air. These pieces of human skin were very thin, but they moved their limbs and flew as if they were real cultivators. One of the human skin looked at the floating island and laughed in a frenzy. His laughter was filled with extreme resentment, but it was also filled with extreme elation. Yes, yes, the human skin loudly shouted. Behind him, countless other human skins laughed along with him. Yes, yes, all the human skins loudly shouted. Finally, fresh souls that will endure this eternal torment with us, one of the human skins muttered. A thunderous roar came from below, but the roar sounded like it was urging them to hurry. The human skins all shut their mouths. They turned into extremely fast afterimages and rushed to the floating island. The entire floating island was thrown into chaos. No cultivator speed could compare to a human skin. A blurred image appeared. A cultivator was caught by a human skin. In a split second, the cultivator's flesh and blood completely disappeared, turning into a new human skin, while the skin that came from the realm demon tree suddenly had a large bump on its back. This bump was the essence of that cultivator's flesh and soul. With just a single touch, the cultivator was easily killed. In the blink of an eye, the entire island was massacred. The human skin brought their spoils of war back to the realm demon tree. The realm demon tree opened several openings, allowing the returning human skins to enter. In the sky, the only one left was the virtualized realm cultivator who was barely holding on. Groups of human skins were being blasted apart by him. No, that's not right. The middle-aged man clearly had the upper hand, but he was screaming in despair and madness. No matter which direction he tried to escape in, there would be groups of human skins rushing up to stop him. For now, the middle-aged man couldn't escape, and the human skins couldn't catch him. The fear on Juan Air's face was becoming thicker and thicker. Gu Qingshan was staring at the battle in the sky without blinking, so she didn't notice. Shanna looked at Juan Air and asked, "What's wrong?" "The realm demon's main body is about to act. It's about to act." Juan Air's voice was still trembling. "Don't be afraid." Juan Air Qing Ro quickly comforted her. "There's only one cultivator. The realm demon won't go all out, really? If there's only one cultivator alive, the realm demon won't need to go all out. Don't be afraid, little sister." Juan Air Qing Ro hugged her tightly. Juan Air stopped staring at the sky and buried her head in Qing Ro's chest. She was trembling from fear. Seeing Gu Qingshan and Shanu looking at her, Qing Ro silently signaled them with her eyes. She sent her voice to explain. Juan Air's entire world was used as a sacrifice by Guangyang's sect to test the realm demon's reaction. Juan Air is the only survivor. How did she survive? Gu Qingshan sent her voice to ask. Guangyang's sect's test on the realm demon ended. That's why she survived. The test ended? Yes. Guangyang's sect found out that this test was meaningless and that all methods would only lead to death. So they stopped it, Qing Ro replied. Suddenly, the ground started to tremble. A furious roar resounded across the world. The smell of death in the air was becoming thicker and thicker. The virtualized realm middle-aged cultivator calmed down. He laughed bitterly and raised his hand to the sky. "I, Zhang Dideo, hereby swear to the heavens and earth that I will forever be with the traitor of our sect, Wang Baishe." His oath wasn't completed. At some unknown point, his body was being sucked in by countless suction cups. These suction cups that came from the realm demon's body were moving so fast that no one could see them. They rose to the sky and caught the virtualized realm cultivator. This time, even Gu Qingshan's expression changed. Too fast. So fast that the virtualized realm cultivator couldn't even react in time. With such terrifying speed, no matter who you are, you won't be able to escape from the realm demon's grasp. The cultivator was still struggling, but the suction cups had already wrapped around him and began to wriggle. In a split second, the virtualized realm cultivator disappeared without a trace. He was completely devoured by the suction cups. Not even a piece of skin was left. Seeing such a terrifying scene, both Gu Qingshan and Shanu fell silent. Qing Ro sighed in relief. "Little sister Juan Air, it's over." Chapter 512. While the realm demon was rampaging. On the other side, in the boundless void turbulence, the wind of primal chaos continued to blow without stopping. All sorts of strange creatures, even mysterious structures, as well as unknown entities that have been drifting within the space vortex for so long, would occasionally appear within the space vortex. This was the back of many worlds. This was a place of chaos after the destruction of time and space within the infinite worlds. A torrent of wind carried a bright green badge that came out of nowhere, flying through the chaotic space vortex. This badge was too small, nothing special. It could even be said to be unassuming. So none of the unique entities that wandered the space vortex were interested in it. And this badge had been flying for who knows how many years. Nothing seemed to change. But today, at this very moment, something different happened. The bright green badge followed the wind of primal chaos into a unique location within the space vortex. If the badge was sentient, it would be confused about where it was right now. Because where it was, there was nothing at all. No sound, no structures, no world, no wind of primal chaos, no life, nothing at all. The badge was the only thing that existed here. At a certain point, something seemed to have flashed by. After a while, a voice sighed. The badge, a hand reached out and took the badge away. Once again, the place returned to its empty state. After a very long time, all of a sudden, a black hole appeared in the void of space. An inventory bag flew out from the hole. The black hole disappeared. Everything returned to normal. The only difference was, there was now another inventory bag in this space. The inventory bag silently floated in the void of space, not moving at all. Not too much time had passed. At a certain point, the inventory bag unnoticeably moved. Noticing that it didn't cause any consequences, the inventory bag moved again. A jade-like hand reached out from the inventory bag. The jade-like hand touched the inventory bag. Immediately, the inner sight imprint on the inventory bag was removed. The jade-like hand tapped the inventory bag. The inventory bag opened. Everything happened very quickly. Almost immediately, a woman wearing a white fox mask appeared in the space vortex. As soon as she appeared, she became cautious. Rakshas's daughter. She finally couldn't help but show herself. Rakshas's daughter grabbed the inventory bag and looked around. In a flash, a surprised female voice sounded from behind the white fox mask. The space turbulence's quarantine zone. How did this young master end up in the quarantine zone? The female voice became anxious. In the empty space turbulence, something flashed past at an extremely fast speed. Rakshas's daughter suddenly turned around. Nothing at all. No, I have to leave this place as soon as possible. Rakshas's daughter patted herself and took out a small teleportation formation plate. As soon as he infused it with his spiritual energy, the formation plate immediately buzzed. In the next instant, the movement of the array disk completely disappeared. It's like it's not working. Luacha's daughter cried out involuntarily. Oh no, this quarantine zone doesn't accept spatial shifts. Something unrecognizable flashed by in the air. This time, the thing was closer to Rakshas's daughter. Rakshas's daughter's hair stood on end. She made a prompt decision, drew out a shiny long knife, and slashed it across her neck. The head immediately fell to the ground. Rakshas's daughter's face was hidden behind the mask as she spat out her last words. Chi-Yin, was it? You dare to trick this young master. This young master will definitely kill you when I get back. Guangyang sect. A certain courtyard on the floating island. The white fox was curled up, taking a nap. All of a sudden, it jumped up. Dead, that's right, he's dead, the white fox muttered. That's strange, with his strength. The white fox lightly swung its tail. Countless snow-white tails danced in the air. A faint light came from the tails, quickly sweeping across the entire world. The white fox seems to have used some sort of spell. After a while, the white fox's eyes squinted into a thin line, almost like it was smiling. What an unexpected coincidence. Going to the quarantine zone, it's best to die there. Seems like this time's trial is finally going to be interesting. It stood up and lightly walked around the courtyard. Behind a white fox, its snow-white tails rose up. 1, 2, 3, 16 tails. A total of 16 tails appeared behind the white fox. Back on the meeting platform, the two virtualized realm cultivators didn't notice that the white fox had so many tails. With their knowledge, if they knew, everything would have been different. The snow-white tails formed a circle behind the white fox. The circle gave off a faint white glow, turning into a glowing gate. From the gate of light, a man's angry voice resounded. I want to flatten Guangyang sect first, kill that Qian, then complete the trial as you wish, the white fox said in a low voice. But I have to remind you, among all the Rakshas's daughters of the past, there's only one corpse that is still intact, so you only have one last chance to complete your personal trial. The man's anger disappeared and smiled apologetically. I understand, sir, but that brat Qi Yin has 2 new worlds in his hands. If you can obtain the coordinates of a new world, this will count as bonus points. But only if you complete the trial, the white fox casually said. Fine, I will complete the trial, the man begrudgingly replied. You may begin again, now, the white fox said. Yes, the man's voice disappeared. The white fox stood still without moving. A few moments later, a dignified voice resounded. I'm here. You may begin your report. The white fox bowed to the gate of light and began to explain the situation in a low voice. When it finished, the dignified voice resounded again. Although it was a cheap trick, it still forced a Rakshasa candidate to give up her body. It's been a long time since someone was able to do that, the voice seemed to be considering while stating its decision. Now, put this person into the observation team. You may determine if he's qualified to become a Rakshasa candidate based on his performance. Very well, I'll do that right away, the white fox replied. Then let's do this. Peace is only a temporary illusion. War is about to return. We need excellent new blood, and so do our enemies. I'll leave it to you, I understand, don't worry, the white fox bowed and said. I'll be waiting for your return. Be careful of that true demon lord. See you later, the dim light slowly faded away. The gate of light closed. The white fox's tail once again split into 18. It paced slowly in the courtyard, as if it was considering how to handle this matter. After a while, the white fox's expression changed. 1 second ago, the Rakshasa candidate once again descended on Rakshasa Peak. On the other side, the brat who killed the Rakshasa, I think he's called Qian, as soon as it finished. Chapter 5:13. Xiangji Hall. This was where all of the sect's resources were stored. Deep inside the library, Gu Qingshan used Zhao Wuchui's seal to open a secret room. He led Shanu, Qingro, and Wan Er inside. There were about a dozen rows of jade tags inside. The best scriptures of the entire sect were all here. This was the personal collection of Grand Elder Wang Hong Dao for thousands of years. Normally, his disciple Zhao Wuchui was in charge of this place. It was impossible for anyone else to enter. One time, Chiruoya tried to enter, but was stopped by Wang Hong Dao. Wang Hong Dao's reason was that he was personally organizing this place, preparing to compile it into a secret scripture. Wang Hong Dao accused Chiruoya of trying to steal his cultivation knowledge. Chiruoya was the sect master of Guangyang sect, about the same rank as Wang Hong Dao, but being accused like that in front of everyone, he couldn't back down. From then on, almost no one was able to enter this place. Ever since Gu Qingshan came here, this was the first time the secret room had so many guests. Inside the secret room, as Gu Qingshan's inner sight scanned the entire place, he understood. The first row had 73 jade tags, all of them about talismans. There were a total of 96 jade scrolls in the second row, and they were all martial path hidden arts. The third row had 31 jade tags, all of them about metal elemental secret arts. The fourth row had 164 jade tags, all of them about formations. Time was limited, so Wang Hong Dao couldn't be sure when he would return. Zhao Wuchui guaranteed that Wang Hong Dao wouldn't return for at least half a day. But Gu Qingshan was still a bit doubtful. He didn't trust him. To save time, Gu Qingshan quickly divided the work. Qingro, you've always had a good eye. Come pick out the formation jade tags with me. I want to take a look right now. You're a formation user as well? Wan Air curiously asked. Gu Qingshan nodded and silently thought, I'm going to be one soon. Very well, I'll help you pick. Qing Ro looked at him in surprise, but quickly agreed. Both she and Wan Air were Tribulation Realm cultivators. She definitely had a good eye for picking out formation J-tags. Me too, Wan Air said excitedly. Gu Qingshan tapped her inventory bag, took out a large bag of blank J-tags, and stuffed them into Wan Air's hands. Wan Air, you have other work to do. We don't have enough people right now, so you need to make a copy of all the J-tags here. This is a lot of work, so I'll have Shanna help you. All right, I know what to do. Wan Air bit her lip and left with Shanna. Seeing that the three women were busy, Gu Qingshan also prepared to comprehend the Tao of array formations. He had just taken a step when he heard a crisp ding. This was the system's voice again. Gu Qingshan immediately stopped. Ever since the last divine ability extraction, the system had fallen into silence. No matter how he tried to contact it, there was no response. At this moment, the system seemed to have returned. Are you all right? Gu Qingshan immediately asked. Thank you for your concern. Although it was very dangerous, I've already completed my exploration of this world's origin. The system quickly replied. Now please look at the screen. Many notifications quickly appeared on the War God UI. Attempting to sense this world's law of origin, discovered that this world's law of origin has almost been completely devoured. After 391 evaluations, confirmed that this world's law of origin no longer has enough to form a new thaumaturgy. In view of this unprecedented situation, please make a decision based on the following two options. First, temporarily give up on the thaumaturgy. Use the remaining origin of this world to forcefully evolve a thaumaturgy that can be upgraded. Second, permanently give up on Sainted Realm thaumaturgy. Use the remaining origin of this world to forcefully evolve an existing thaumaturgy that can be upgraded. Gu Qingshan quickly read through all the notifications. He muses, this world's law of origin has already been consumed by the realm demon. Yes, the origin is already empty. Only a tiny bit is left, the system answered. If the world's law of origin is completely gone, what will happen to the world? The world will collapse. Gu Qingshan's expression changed and asked, how long until the world collapses? That's hard to say. The world destruction is a very complicated process. It could happen in the next second or a few days later, but shouldn't be more than 7 days. 7 days. It could collapse at any moment. I don't have much time left. Gu Qingshan forced himself to calm down. He slowly asked, if I use that bit of the world's origin to strengthen my thaumaturgy, will it affect this world? It won't. This world's collapse is already set in stone. Whether or not that bit of the world's origin still exists, it won't affect the overall situation, Gu Qingshan decisively said. Very well. I want to use that bit of power of the origin to immediately strengthen an existing thaumaturgy that could be upgraded. Understood, the system replied. New lines of glowing text appeared on the interface. Special quest, Wusan Must Die reward has been used. Searching for your upgradable thaumaturgy. You only have one upgradable thaumaturgy. Your upgradable thaumaturgy is Lightning. Lightning thaumaturgy first stage. Loss of control. Learned. Lightning thaumaturgy second stage. Paralysis. Learned. Your upgradable thaumaturgy is Lightning thaumaturgy. Learned. Your upgradable thaumaturgy is Lightning thaumaturgy third stage. Would you like to use the last bit of power of the suspended worlds? Origin to evolve your lightning thaumaturgy? The darkness on the War God UI slowly faded. The Sainted Realm thaumaturgy quest has disappeared. Gu Qingshan sighed emotionally. This can't be helped. No matter how powerful a thaumaturgy is, if it can't be obtained, it's nothing but a mirage. Right now, he needs to take advantage of any power he can. This is a struggle for survival. As soon as the thaumaturgy quest disappeared, a long streak of light appeared. This streak of light took up the entire UI, constantly moving and changing its shape. As Gu Qingshan stared at the streak of light, it stopped moving. It has begun, the system reminded him. 3 blue orbs of light appeared from the streak of light. The three orbs of light silently hovered in front of Gu Shan. Please choose one of the three options to complete the evolution of your lightning thaumaturgy. Attention! This is the third stage of your lightning thaumaturgy. You've already touched the edge of the laws. Each of the options is considerably powerful. Please choose carefully. The system reminded him again. Very well, Gu Shan replied. He looked at one of the orbs of light. Following his gaze, a few lines of text appeared next to the orb of light. 1,000 Worlds Divine Lightning of Annihilation. Infuse your next attack with 1,000 Worlds Divine Lightning of Annihilation, increasing damage against demons and revenants by 1,000%. Description: lightning itself contains the power of smiting. The third stage of your lightning thaumaturgy allows you to compress 1,000 Worlds Divine Lightning of Annihilation into a single orb, then use it as a one-time attack. 1,000% damage. What a powerful, evolved thaumaturgy. Reading through the description of this thaumaturgy, Gu Shan couldn't help but shake his head. The one he needs to deal with right now is Wang Hongdao. This is a living virtualized realm cultivator, not a demon or revenant. If I choose this thaumaturgy, I won't be able to get any help at all. I can only give up. If time wasn't so tight, Gu Shan might consider it a bit more. He looked at the second orb of light. Elemental Lightning Divine Sense. Through the law of lightning, you'll be able to sense fate from the unseen, allowing you to frequently sense what's going to happen in the next moment during battle. Description: this thaumaturgy cannot be used as a prophecy thaumaturgy. It is more suitable for giving you premonitions during battle to avoid dangerous situations of death. Gu Shan nodded. This is a thaumaturgy similar to battle intuition. Grasping this thaumaturgy will grant you a great advantage in a battle of equal strength. Unfortunately, the enemy I'm about to face is several realms higher than me. Even with the help of such a powerful thaumaturgy, Gu Shan doesn't think he'll be able to win in a direct confrontation. Gu Shan glanced past this orb of light and looked at the third orb of light. Severance. After being struck by your elemental lightning, the enemy's consciousness will be separated from their body, lasting for 3 seconds. Description: this is an upgraded thaumaturgy that causes loss of control and rigidity. No living being is immune to it. Description: this thaumaturgy consumes a lot of spirit energy. Please use it with caution. Special description: because the first 2 stages of your elemental thaumaturgy are upgraded thaumaturgy that you were lucky enough to obtain. The information of severance from the third stage. After reading through the third thaumaturgy, Gu Shan was a bit surprised. 3 seconds, 3 seconds. He hurriedly asked, "System, if the enemy is several times stronger than me, will this thaumaturgy still work? The system is very tired. Please read the description yourself." I choose severance. Are you sure? Chapter 514. Following Gu Shan's choice, the system let out chime. Ping. You've chosen the evolution direction of your lightning thaumaturgy, the second stage thaumaturgy. Rigid is about to evolve. You've chosen the third stage thaumaturgy, severance. Following this, the line of light on the war god UI disappeared, and Gu Shan's thaumaturgy began to evolve. The user has obtained the evolved smiting thaumaturgy. Severance, severance. After being struck by your lightning spirit energy, the target's consciousness will be separated from their body. Duration: 3 seconds. Gu Shan reached her hand out and lightly tapped one air in Shanna's shoulders. Shanna didn't react at all and only asked, "Is this lightning?" "Yes, it's a lightning thaumaturgy," Gu Shan replied. Wanner stood rooted to the ground, motionless. "Time's up," Gu Shan muttered. It was now that Wan Air regained her senses. "What happened to me just now?" she asked in confusion. Qing Ro noticed and smiled. Gongzi might have grasped some sort of thaumaturgy after evolving. "He was just joking with you," Wan Air immediately asked. "I was in a daze just now. I don't know anything. How much time has passed?" "Not too long. Just 1.5 breaths," Gu Shan answered. 1.5 breaths. Wan Air's expression changed. She was also a Tribulation Realm cultivator, so she knew very well how terrifying 1.5 breaths of time was for a sword cultivator. Qing Ro praised. Gongzi being able to comprehend such a powerful thaumaturgy, our chances of survival are much higher now. Feeling the increase in lightning power inside her body, Gu Qingshan was also half happy and half worried. Happy because even though she didn't awaken a new thaumaturgy, she was able to increase the time she could control an enemy to 3 seconds. Gu Qingshan felt that Severance wouldn't be any weaker than any other thaumaturgy. For a sword cultivator, 3 seconds was a very long time. Gu Qingshan could even easily perform 7 strikes in 3 seconds to complete 7 stars flowing dragon. From now on, Severance will replace Stiffen as an important trump card, and it will shine brightly in future battles. What worried him was that this move consumed too much spiritual power. Using Severance on 2 people in a row, Gu Qingshan's Reiki has been reduced by 30%. He was now a Sainted Realm cultivator. This divine power really consumed too much spiritual power, and it was not suitable for a prolonged battle. Once he used this ability, it was best to end the battle quickly. Gu Qingshan calmed herself down and went through her skills again. Apart from swordsmanship, there were only 4 main skills: Severance, Shrink, Shadow Shift, Mystery of all beings equal. From now on, the Tao of formations would be added to the list. Gu Qingshan told the 3 women, "Let's continue working." The 3 women responded and went to choose their own jade slips. Gu Qingshan walked up to the row of formation jade slips and stopped. Casually flipping through it, he found that the arrayed jade slips ranged from simple to profound, with everything one could expect. Gu Qingshan chose the simplest formation jade slip and quickly began to comprehend it. The current jade slip contains the basics of formations, as well as the 9 basic formations. To fully comprehend it requires 200 soul points. Would you like to comprehend it? Yes. A warm flow flowed into Gu Qingshan's body through the jade slip and gathered in his thought sea. Gu Qingshan closed his eyes for a bit, silently comprehending the basics of formations. A few moments later, he opened his eyes. Putting down this jade slip, he picked up another jade slip. The current jade slip contains the basics of formations, as well as the 5 basic formations. To fully comprehend it requires 300 soul points. Would you like to comprehend it? Yes. Gu Qingshan closed his eyes again, focusing all his attention on comprehending the mysteries of formations. Using soul points to learn formations is indeed very fast, but there's one thing that's not good about it. The cost is too high. Just the most basic formation alone cost Gu Qingshan 500 soul points. This can't be helped. Formations are one of the 2 hardest to learn among the 6 arts of cultivation. Otherwise, the formation Grandmaster Gongsun Ji wouldn't have been given the title of Ding Yuan General back in the cultivation world. Even in this world, being a formation master is one of the most popular professions. Gu Qingshan checked the amount of soul points he had left. I still need to use the remaining soul points. Gu Qingshan sighed and took out another jade slip. The content of formations recorded in this jade slip was too profound, not suitable for him to comprehend with his current understanding of formations. He casually took out another jade slip and prepared to comprehend formations. Suddenly, he remembered something and couldn't help but smack his head in annoyance. Qing Ro and Wan Er are still waiting for me to release them. If I can release them from the spirit shackles, I'll have 2 more Tribulation Realm cultivators on my side. If they can help me fight against Wang Hong Dao, they'll be a decent fighting force. At least they're stronger than me. With that in mind, Gu Qingshan stopped studying formations. Lockdown. I need to find a lockdown jade slip for the spirit shackles, Gu Qingshan muttered. At this point, Shanu came to find him. Gongzi, someone wants to see you, Shanna said. Someone? See me? Gu Qingshan froze. This is the secret room. Where would someone else come from? Shanu was holding a jade slip in front of Gu Qingshan. An illusory figure suddenly flew out from the jade slip and condensed into the figure of a cultivator. This was a cultivator with a long beard, exuding an ancient aura of decay. Gu Qingshan couldn't help but frown. This was a vengeful soul. And it was the vengeful soul of a powerful cultivator. When a cultivator was strong enough in life, They were unwilling to die, so their soul remained in this world, looking for something to hold on to and didn't reincarnate. For such a powerful soul to remain in the human realm for the sake of their obsession, it wasn't a good thing for both the world and the soul itself. Bai Huasek's mountain of resources was full of such things. Qin Shaolu hated these things the most, because as long as a vengeful soul knows how to take over someone's body, they can use a few unique items as a medium to take over someone's body. As soon as someone touches those items, the vengeful soul will be able to enter their body and take over their body. There were some people who were usually mediocre or useless, but one day, their talents would suddenly become top-notch. Their cultivation would also slowly rise to the top and shock the world. In truth, they were all being taken over. What happened? Gu Qingshan asked Shanu in a low voice. There was a particularly powerful offensive formation. I was a bit curious, so I wanted to take a look and found this jade tag, Shanu answered. Shanu had the lawbreaker thaumaturgy that could break all laws in the world, so offensive formations were completely useless against her. You didn't let him come into contact with Qingro or Wan Air, did you? Gu Qingshan asked. I didn't. I was very careful, Shanu said as she held the jade tag. That's good. Gu Qingshan felt a bit relieved. Although Qingro and Wan Air were powerful, they were still sealed, so it was still a bit difficult for them to take over someone's body. But Shanu wasn't the same as the others. Not to mention, she was a sword spirit, so no one would try to take over her body. Chapter 515. The long-bearded cultivator came out from the jade tag and landed on the ground. His gaze passed through Qingro, Wan Air, then finally stopped on Gu Qingshan. Gu Qingshan's eyes met his. He's a sword cultivator. Both of them thought of that at the same time. This was a kind of spirit sense. Although they're separated by life and death, true sword cultivators only need a single glance to know each other's identity. The long-bearded cultivator nodded, confirming his guess. Gu Qingshan was also curious. May I know your name? Gu Qingshan clasped his fist and asked. Tian Shan Yi, the long-bearded cultivator answered. This name is so familiar. I feel like I've heard it somewhere before. Gu Qingshan slowly thought about it, and suddenly remembered where this name came from. He was a famous figure in Guangyang sect's history. Even in this world, Tian Shan Ye's name represented a legend. Sword and blade duel master, Tian Shan Yi. 1,000 years ago, the realm demon hadn't even appeared in this world yet. At the time, the sun, moon, stars, and even the living beings of this world still existed. Geniuses, secret techniques, and treasures of the cultivation world were everywhere. In a competition where all the sects participated, Guangyang sect's Tian Shan Yi, with his blade and sword in hand, triumphed over everyone. No one could win against him. In that era, because of Tian Shan Yi's existence, Guangyang sect stood at the top of all sections. That was the most glorious era of Guangyang sect's history. You're our sect's 9th sect master, Tian Shan Yi? Gu Qingshan couldn't help but ask. Tian Shan Yi glanced at him and answered, That's me. This humble one is Qi Yin, the current Zwei Wei Hall's Hall master. I greet sect master Qian. But why are you here, sect master Qian? Gu Qingshan bowed and asked doubtfully. Tian Shan Yi couldn't help but lightly shake his head, as if he didn't want to remember the past. In the end, he sighed and said, 1,500 years ago, Wang Hong Dao became my disciple and cultivated with me for 300 years. Wang Hong Dao. Gu Qingshan immediately became serious. Right, Tian Shan Yi was Wang Hong Dao's master. But Tian Shan Yi's soul was hidden here. What exactly happened? Tian Shan Yi continued. During one of our sparring sessions, I accidentally killed a friend and was heavily injured myself in the process. At that time, I deeply blamed myself for this, and my mind was in chaos. Wang Hong Dao was my most valued disciple, but while he was taking care of me, he suddenly ambushed me. I was unwilling to die, so I used a secret technique to entrust this sword technique jade slip. Gu Qingshan doubtfully asked, You don't know how prestigious it is to be your disciple. Why would Wang Hong Dao ambush you while you were recuperating? Because I only taught him the blade. Not the sword, Tian Shanyi answered. I remember now, Qing Ro silently squeezed Gu Qing Shan's hand and whispered. At the time, Sect Master Qian was known as the Sword and Blade Duel Master, the strongest cultivator in the world. As long as the cultivators of the sect can learn one or two saber techniques from sect leader Qian, they can go anywhere in the world. If anyone could learn sect leader Qian's swordsmanship, they would be even more incredible, becoming an unparalleled great cultivator in the world. After sparring with a cultivator of the same realm, Sect Master Qian disappeared from the world, never to be seen again. The entire cultivation world believes that Sect Master Qian accidentally killed a friend and felt ashamed. So he left for the space vortex to search for other worlds. Gu Qing Shan's thoughts quickly turned, then continued. Because you didn't teach Wang Hong Dao your swordsmanship, he's holding a grudge against you. So he wanted to take that chance to kill you and steal your swordsmanship. Is that right? Tian Shanyi nodded, showing deep regret in his eyes. Truthfully, with his personality, he shouldn't have been taught the blade, Tian Shanyi said. His personality? Why shouldn't he have been taught the blade? Gu Qing Shan asked. This is a good chance to understand Wang Hong Dao. This Guangyang sect's Grand Elder actually killed his own Shifu. Getting to the bottom of this would help him understand Wang Hong Dao's personality and style of doing things. There's no harm in understanding your enemy a bit more. Tian Shanyi said. The path of the blade is one of bravery. Gu Qing Shan nodded. Among the blade users I've met, Ning Yuechan also said something similar. The blade is a sacrifice for its path, moving forward without fear. Ning Yuechan was an expert in using the blade. Her thoughts were pure, and her blades was also very real, allowing her to improve very quickly. Gu Qing Shan actually liked to interact with blade users. Because those who use the blade are usually people with true emotions. They're very clear about what's right and what's wrong. They're always willing to repay their debts. This kind of person was simple and pure. There was nothing to say about being friends with him. Of course, not all cultivators who use the blade are qualified to be called blade users. You can't be considered a sword cultivator just because you have a sword in your hand. Tian Shanyi sighed. Wang Hong Dao's thoughts are too secretive. He's afraid of death. He's not suited to use the blade. I only kept it by my side because he's my eldest disciple, someone who's been with me for hundreds of years and has always been loyal to me. Who knew I'd make a huge mistake because of that? Gu Qing Shan sighed. Sir, you're a talented cultivator. I trust that with your eyes, you wouldn't easily make a mistake. A person disguising themselves for a year, 2 years, or even a few dozen years is already a very difficult thing to do. But Wang Hong Dao has always been loyal and attentive, fair, sincere, without the slightest bit of arrogance that an eldest disciple should have. And he hasn't made a single mistake in the last 300 years, Tian Shanyi said. Wan Er and Qing Ro exchanged glances, feeling a bit cold. A single person, to achieve his goal, disguised himself for a whole 300 years. In these 300 years, his words and actions have never once caused anyone to suspect him. What kind of mentality, what kind of person would be able to do such a thing? Sect Master Tian, how about we bring you out and announce this to the world? Wan Er couldn't help but ask. There's no point, Tian Shan. He shook his head. That's right, Wang Hong Dao is still the strongest cultivator in the sect. Even if people find out the truth, they'll only be more afraid of him, Qing Ro said. Not to mention, this world is already about to be destroyed. Everyone is in danger. Who has the time to care about other people's business? Gu Qing Shan also sighed. He clasped his fist. Sect Master Tian, what do you want me to do? I can sense your sword spirit, and you've never learned any of Guangyang's sex techniques. Am I right? Yes, Gu Qing Shan admitted. Wang Hong Dao doesn't know any swordsmanship. He's an expert in the blade and sly corpse. So he wouldn't have a disciple who specializes in swordsmanship like you. That's right, I'm not his disciple. This is Wang Hong Dao's turf. Even the current sect master can't enter this place, but you're so young. Yet you're able to enter this place. It's clear that something happened in the outside world that I don't know about. That's right, Gu Qing Shan admitted. Then, I want to make a deal with you. Saying so, Tian Shan had a determined expression on his face. Please tell me, This jade tag that I'm in has a powerful sword style written on it. When Wang Hong Dao was still practicing the blade, he had always wanted to learn it, but I felt that he wasn't suited for the sword. Even teaching him the blade was out of consideration for his loyalty. That's why you never taught him the sword. That's right, I didn't teach him everything about the blade either. And then, when I was ambushed by him, knowing that I'd die for sure, I used the lock seals to destroy all the blade and sword jade tags. Tian Shan Yi pointed at the jade tag in Shanna's hand and said, I only left this sword-style jade tag as a trap. That's right, my soul is attached to this jade tag. If anyone tries to touch this jade tag, I'll take over their body. Chapter 516. Taking over someone's body isn't a small matter. It's a violent violation of the world's rules, capable of changing the fate of countless people in this world. The far-reaching effects it can have are unimaginable to normal people. Gu Shan calmly asked, Sect Master Qian, what are you trying to say by telling me all of this? Tian Shanya's expression was a bit sorrowful. My original intention was as soon as Wang Hong Dao uses this jade tag, I will immediately take over his body. As soon as Wang Hong Dao touches this jade tag, I will enter his soul vessel and hide, waiting for him to fight against his enemies before taking over his body and taking him down with me. If he only gave the jade tag to a disciple, I will take over that disciple. Once I become that disciple, I will cultivate step by step, grow stronger, and secretly observe Wang Hong Dao's every move, to find his weakness. One day, when I feel confident, I will find a chance to assassinate him and take revenge for myself. Gu Shan sighed. Tian Shan Yi, a master of both swords and blades, a legendary figure of his generation. In the history of this world, such a peak-level figure, one who didn't lack any schemes and tricks, was assassinated by his own disciple. The disciple who never made a single mistake in 300 years. If I was Tian Shan Yi, I probably wouldn't be able to forgive myself. Gu Shan spoke. Sir, you endured the humiliation. Your plan wasn't bad, but it didn't seem to work. That's right, Wang Hong Dao had a guilty conscience as well as a suspicious nature. Even though he found this jade tag, he didn't dare to use it. Tian Shan, he had a look of disbelief on his face. The sword style he yearned for even in his dreams was already in his hands, but he suspected that there was something wrong with the jade tag, afraid that I would set it up to harm him. That's why he held himself back and didn't touch the jade tag for 1,000 years. He only used a sneak attack to kill you, Gu Shan continued. He knew that you had countless tricks up your sleeves, so he didn't dare to try. That's right, from the start, he didn't want to destroy the jade tag, but he also didn't dare to touch it. Tian Shan Yi sighed. He also never gave this sword style to his disciples. Later on, I found out that he didn't even trust his own disciples and place seals on them. Looks like he has a guilty conscience. He's afraid that his disciple will act the same way he did and harm Master, Gu Shan said. That's why the jade tag has always been sealed here, and I haven't had the chance to do anything, Tian Shan Yi explained. Then why are you looking for me now? Possession? No, there's no grudge between us. Not to mention you're not his disciple, Tian Shan Yi replied. He continued, After 1,000 years, I've reached my limit. I can't wait any longer. With a wave of his hand, the jade slip fell into his hand. I can sense the sword intent on your body. You're also a sword cultivator, right? Yes. Please swear to heaven and earth that when you are strong enough, you will kill Wang Hong Dao. This is a deal. Yes, if you swear, I will teach you a sword technique. Tian Shan Yi paused for a moment before continuing. I've observed your sword intent. It's pure and unparalleled, very suitable for the sword technique I've created. As long as you Tian Shan Yi still wanted to say more, but Gu Shan suddenly said something else. I swear, I will kill Wang Hong Dao. Invisible runes appeared in the air, enveloping Gu Shan's body. Tian Shan Yi froze. Why is this brat so straightforward? This vow isn't a joke. For a cultivator, the consequences of violating it are very severe. Tian Shan Yi spoke very seriously. I know. I've already sworn to kill this person, Gu Shan replied. Why? He killed my father. My father was the sect master of this generation. Why would he do that? My father is about to break through to cryptic realm. While Wang Hongdao's wounds haven't healed, their mortal enemies. Gu Qingshan then told him about her alliance with Wang Hongdao's two disciples. Tian Shan Yi fell silent. This sword cultivator in front of him has two tribulation realm beauties as his maids, so his status in the sect must be quite high. Just as he said, he's the hall master of this generation's Zwei Wei Hall. More importantly, this sword cultivator has sworn to kill Wang Hongdao to the heaven and earth. An oath to the heaven and earth can't be faked. This person definitely wants to kill Wang Hongdao, so there's no point in lying. Not to mention, his father was the sect master of this generation, who was also assassinated by Wang Hongdao. If that's the case, giving the sword scripture to this person is the best possible outcome. The three hall masters should all be virtualized realm cultivators. If that's the case, it's very possible for three virtualized realm cultivators to ambush a heavily wounded cryptic realm cultivator. Tian Shan Yi finally sighed. Wang Hongdao, oh Wang Hongdao, you ambushed me all those years ago, and now it's your turn to be ambushed by your own disciple. This is karma. Saying so, Tian Shan Yi couldn't help but laugh. For the past 1,000 years, this was the only day he felt so good. Tian Shan Yi held the sword scripture Jade Tag in his hand. As he looked at Gu Qingshan, he suddenly remembered that she was also a sword cultivator. That's right, a sword cultivator. Tian Shan Yi went silent for a bit. Then his thoughts slowly changed. Before I disappear, I want to ask you one more question, he said. Please, Gu Qingshan replied. I've observed your sword spirit. It's filled with killing intent, extremely fierce and fierce. But do you know that a sword cultivator who is too bloodthirsty won't be able to go far on the path of the sword? I know. Then why haven't you changed your sword spirit? Tian Shan Yi asked. The sword is used to kill the enemy. This is the most basic principle of the sword, Gu Qingshan casually answered. Are you trying to say that the people you've killed deserve to be killed? Tian Shan Yi pursued. No, no one is born to be killed by a sword cultivator. Gu Qingshan shook her head. As a sword cultivator, you don't need to ask who you've killed, you need to ask who you've saved. Tian Shan Yi went silent, then showed approval in his eyes. At least you're a brave sword cultivator, he muttered, his thoughts becoming clearer. If that's the case, I have no more questions. Tian Shan Yi formed a complicated hand seal and sent a light into the Jade Tag. I've just dispelled the trap on the Jade Tag, he slowly spoke. Now, I'll write the sword scripture into the Jade Tag. I hope that you'll be able to pass it on to the next generation. He picked up the Jade slip and pressed it against his forehead. A few moments later, the Jade Tag lightly floated in the air, while Tian Shan Yi's figure slowly became blurry. The last thing I want to tell you is, while I was healing myself, the Realm Demon came to this world. I have a different opinion about the Realm Demon. There was a hint of seriousness in his eyes. Gu Qingshan immediately clasped her fist. Please tell me your opinion. I'll be grateful. I can't. It's too dangerous. Tian Shan Yi shook his head. He picked up a Jade Tag and seemed to be inserting some sort of information into it. When you're ready, take a look at this Jade Tag. Saying so, Tian Shan Yi's voice became weaker and weaker. Specks of light gradually dispersed from his illusory body in all directions. He's reached his final moments. Senior, Gu Qingshan was a bit surprised. Tian Shan Yi continued. Although we've only met once, your sword spirit and temperament are able to resonate with my own. His voice became even weaker, almost inaudible. That's why I didn't leave a single sword scripture, but all of my sword and blade techniques. Gu Qingshan's body shook. She didn't think he would make such a choice. Tian Shan Yi stared at Gu Qingshan, opened his mouth a bit, but didn't say anything. He wanted to say something, but didn't. But Gu Qingshan understood. Gu Qingshan clasped her fist and sincerely said, I will kill him. Using your swordsmanship. Tian Shan Yi smiled happily. The sprites of light flowed like a waterfall, spreading from Tian Shan Yi's body to the void of space. The waterfall of light slowly disappeared. A legendary figure of a generation had passed away. The Jade Tag, hovering in the air, silently fell down and was caught by Gu Qingshan. Gongzi, be careful of traps, Qing Ro scowled. Don't worry, there aren't any saying so. Gu Qingshan's expression was a bit emotional. How do you know there aren't any traps? If he's scheming against his disciple, he might have also left some sort of trap for you? One heir asked in confusion. There won't be any of those. Gu Qingshan shook her head. His tone was firm and certain. Hearing that, Qingro and one heir exchanged glances. Gu Qingshan rubbed the jade tag in her hand and couldn't help but sigh. Chapter 517. Tian Yi gave her 2 jade tags. One was his lifetime's worth of sword and blade knowledge. The other was a random jade tag that he picked up, which recorded his understanding of the realm demon. Of the 2 jade tags, the one with sword and blade knowledge fell to the ground. Gu Qingshan caught it. This jade tag was very clear, probably having been kept for who knows how many years. At first, the jade tag was only a normal milky white color. Only certain jade tags' contents were so treasured by cultivators that they kept them close to their bodies and played with them from time to time. During this process, the cultivator's spirit energy would unknowingly seep into the jade tag. Over the years, the quality of the jade tag would become better and better. This was a very common occurrence in the cultivation world. Because of that, once a jade tag of good quality was taken out, everyone would be curious about what was inside. Gu Qingshan held the jade tag in her hand. A line of glowing text appeared on the war god UI. This is a cultivation scripture written by the 2 of them, divided into blade and sword parts. This line of glowing text appeared very quickly and even blinked. It seemed to be reminding Gu Qingshan to read it. Skimming through it, Gu Qingshan silently thought to herself, just as I thought. Perhaps before reaching Ascended Realm, a cultivator who liked to use weapons could choose many weapons at the same time. But when facing the Ascended Realm lightning tribulation, a cultivator must choose a single weapon as their main path. For this reason, Gu Qingshan gave up on lightning spells and archery to focus on swordsmanship. Swordsmanship was the Tao with the strongest exclusivity. Once a cultivator chooses swordsmanship, they must give up all other weapons. The last time Gu Qingshan returned to reality, after helping Yi Fei Li cause a ruckus at the Congress election, she went to the Masala Desert to face her tribulation. At the time, Gu Qingshan had already made her choice and chose swordsmanship. In the cultivation world, it's common to hear of people being able to use 2 weapons at the same time, but that's only because they didn't choose swordsmanship. A true sword cultivator would know that it's impossible for someone to use 2 weapons at the same time on the path of swordsmanship. But Tian Yi's genuine sword chi proved that he was a sword cultivator. In that case, how could he practice saber arts? In fact, Gu Qingshan wasn't the only one who didn't understand. The cultivators of this world from 1,000 years ago were also confused. The records from 1,000 years ago were actually very detailed, including Tian Yi's every battle, every single move he made, every single move he used to decide the outcome of the battle. At the time, many people didn't understand Tian Yi's sword and blade dual mastery. But for so many years, no one had been able to find out his secret. Tian Yi was the strongest cultivator. As long as Tian Yi didn't want to talk, no one would be able to pry his mouth open. Gu Qingshan murmured softly, 2 people. Fortunately, I've seen such things before. Otherwise, I would have been easily fooled. Gu Qingshan looked at the other jade tag in the air. What Tian Yi said about the realm demon was recorded in this jade tag. Compared to the sword and blade manual in Gu Qingshan's hand, this one that recorded the realm demon's secrets made people feel more relaxed and curious. Qingro reached out to take it. Gu Qingshan caught her hand. Gongzi? Qingro hesitantly asked. Shanu's figure suddenly flashed and disappeared. A second later, she reappeared in the air. This was a simple teleportation, but she used the divine skill. Ground shrink. Shanna moved as fast as lightning and put the J tag into her inventory bag. This happened in the blink of an eye. Before the 2 girls could react, the second J tag had already been put into her inventory bag. That J tag also didn't react in time. Shanu floated down. Well done, Gu Qingshan happily praised. Seeing the two girls' confused expressions, Shanu casually explained, "It was Gongzi who sent his voice to me, telling me to put everything I have into this jade tag." The two girls froze, their minds a bit confused. This seems to be a precaution against me, to prevent me from reading the jade tag. Gu Qingshan doesn't trust me? They both had the same thought. Wanair looked at Gu Qingshan and carefully asked, "You don't trust Big Sis Qingro? She wouldn't tell this secret to anyone other than you." Qingro pursed her lips, seemingly a bit dejected. "Our lives are tied to this person, and I've tried my best to help him, but he doesn't trust me at all." Seeing that, Gu Qingshan felt a bit of a headache. He could only say, "This is too troublesome, and I don't want to accidentally hurt you." Qingro was smart to begin with. So hearing that, she carefully thought about it and said, "Gongzi said before, between sword cultivators, there is only the sword." She muttered. "Once the sword is drawn, life and death are decided," which means Gongzi is receiving the sword. Qingro, you're so smart, Gu Qingshan praised. "Heart sword?" Qingro looked at him and asked. "It's the heart sword," Gu Qingshan explained. "Sword and blade dual master. What a great title. This kind of scripture J tag is enough to make many people greedy." The second J tag recorded the information that I couldn't wait to find out. There shouldn't be any traps in the first J tag, and it's the best scripture in the world. After checking and confirming that there aren't any traps, I would more or less relax a bit. This is normal human nature. At that time, I would go and take the second J tag. Because I want to know more about this, I would probably use my inner sight to check the realm demon's secrets without hesitation. Gu Qingshan sighed. After 1,000 years, he has already improved a lot and learned how to use the heart as a sword. But I won't give him that chance. Qingro understood again, but she quickly had a new suspicion. "Why do you think that the sword and blade scripture J tag doesn't have any traps?" "Because it definitely doesn't have any. Otherwise, I would be suspicious on the spot, and Yi Qingqing wouldn't be able to carry out any of his future plans." "Why did you make Shanu take the second J tag so quickly?" "Because Tianshan, you must have hidden a lot of things in this jade tag. But if I take it into my inventory bag, it would be the same as entering another space. That way, he wouldn't be able to do anything to me, unless he has a way to escape from Shanu's inventory bag." As the two girls looked back, they saw Shanu putting her hand on the opening of the inventory bag. "No matter what method he uses, he won't be able to escape from my hands," Shanu casually said. Wanair also regained her senses and looked at Gu Qingshan. "Which means you never trusted him?" Qingro also asked. "Just now, when you said that he wouldn't use any tricks, did you also say that in front of the jade tag?" "Of course. I can't make him suspicious at the last moment." "When did you notice that there was something wrong with him?" Qingro's eyes lit up as she asked. "That's because he was placed in an extremely powerful offensive spell formation." Gu Qingshan looked at Shanu. Shanu nodded. "Other than me, none of you would have been able to come out with Wang Hongdao's personality. It's normal for him to do such a thing, so Tianshan, you definitely wouldn't have the chance to come out and meet anyone." Gu Qingshan continued. "Even though I told him that I was the hall master of Zweiwei Hall, he never asked about my Shifu or my background." "That's a bit strange." Qingro nodded. "He first talked about how Wang Hongdao killed his Shifu, then deduced that I wasn't Wang Hongdao's disciple. Why is that?" Gu Qingshan asked in return. "Could it be to give himself an excuse to teach you his sword and blade techniques?" Wanair asked. "That's exactly the case. As soon as I became greedy and wanted to learn his sword and blade techniques, I would have to say that I wasn't Wang Hongdao's disciple, and so he was sure that I took the bait." Wanair shook her head. His deduction was quite accurate. "You really weren't Wang Hongdao's disciple. How did he deduce that?" Gu Qingshan asked. Wanair recalled. "He said that Wang Hongdao doesn't know swordsmanship, only the blade and sly corpse. So Wang Hongdao wouldn't have a disciple who specializes in swordsmanship like you." Gu Qingshan asked. "Zhao Wuchue is a virtualized realm martial cultivator, so he wasn't Wang Hongdao's disciple." Wanair was speechless. Qingro sighed. Using the truth to make a lie. As long as a cultivator becomes greedy for a top-tier scripture, no matter what their original identity was, they would admit his deduction on the spot. How impressive. Gu Qingshan continued. After that, he used every cultivator's fear of the realm demon to create a second jade tag. Just like how Guangyang sect once used an entire world to investigate the realm demon's weakness, this is nothing more than a cultivator's desire to live. The first jade tag used greed to lure me in, the second one used the desire to live. Then he gave me an especially high requirement to learn the scripture, making me think that I was the one begging him to give me the scripture jade tag instead of him giving it to me for free. Even if I didn't vow to kill Wang Hong Dao, he would still have other requests waiting for me. As long as I want to learn his scripture, he would give me a condition that was just right for me, but definitely not too easy. One heir held her head and muttered, "How could this person calculate to such a degree? How terrifying." Even so, he still couldn't beat Wang Hong Dao, Qing Ro commented. The two girls exchanged glances and saw the deep fear in each other's eyes. They were both great cultivators with a lot of knowledge, but they've never seen such a psychological battle before. If it was them, they would have already fallen for it. And there's an even more powerful Wang Hong Dao waiting for them. What should I do now? Despair can drive a person mad, Gu Qingshan muttered. He looked down at the jade tag in his hand. The jade tag contained the world-renowned sword and blade dual mastery secret. But in this suspended world, this place that can drive a person mad with despair, the human heart is so treacherous that it's chilling to even think about it. Would he be able to practice the techniques here without worry? Of course not. Gu Qingshan couldn't help but sigh. At this time, another line of glowing text appeared on the War God UI. Information recorded in the Jade tag has been completed. Complete analysis of the Jade Scroll. Discovered that 98.7% of the Jade tag's contents are completely useless, discarding the majority of errors, inaccuracies, and missing parts. 3% of the scripture content in the Jade tag is complete and correct. Would you like to view this part of the content? Gu Qingshan blankly replied, "Yes." New lines of glowing text appeared on the UI. Discovered this world's complete and correct Sword Saint scripture. This is the only correct content in the entire Jade tag. Please feel free to view it. Chapter 518. Discover this world's Sword Saint technique. Sword Array. Tai. Prerequisite 1. Sainted Realm. Precondition 2. Sword Immortal. Description. To immediately comprehend this Sword Array, soul points cost 2,000 soul points. Reading the description on the UI, Gu Qingshan couldn't help but smile bitterly. Right now, he really doesn't have enough soul points to learn the Sword Array. Alright, thank you. I'll learn it again if I have the chance. He put the Jade tag away. No matter what, being able to obtain a Sword Array was already an unprecedented harvest. A Sword Array was the true killing move of a Sword Saint. In the past life, it was only by chance that Gu Qingshan managed to obtain a Sword Array during the descent of the divinities. At the time, other than him, there weren't many people who obtained a Sword Array. At this point, Qing Ro asked, "How about we get rid of that problematic Jade tag?" "It's fine. Shanu won't have any issues with those things," Gu Qingshan replied. Seeing how calm and collected he was, Qing Ro couldn't help but sigh. "What's the matter?" Gu Qingshan asked. "I feel like I can't help but feel anxious whenever I keep that Jade tag." "Are you afraid of Tian Shanyi?" "No, I'm afraid of this world. The people of this world are too ugly," Qing Ro replied. "Whatever a civilization worships, that will be deeply rooted in the hearts of the people. Anything that doesn't conform to the mainstream will never survive. That's why a world like this should be destroyed." One heir imitated Gu Qingshan's tone from before and said, "That's right. We need to quickly escape." Gu Qingshan also said, "But the heaven and earth oath you're carrying." Qing Ro looked at him, a bit worried. "Ah, right, there's still that Wang Hong Dao." Gu Qingshan felt a headache coming on. Qing Ro and Wan Air were also silently worried. Wang Hong Dao was a cryptic realm cultivator. Not only was he cautious, he was also cruel and vicious. He hid himself for 300 years, all for the sake of killing his own Shifu, Yi Qianqing. Such a person, even if seriously injured, would definitely not be easy to deal with. Gu Qingshan didn't even consider how to deal with Wang Hong Dao. He was thinking of something else. He had a total of 1603 soul points, and after using 500 soul points to practice formations, He was left with 1103 soul points. Although the spirit shackles were complicated, it shouldn't be any more complicated than a formation. His mastery of spell formations had only just reached the intermediate level of this world. Trying to find Shun Wu world coordinates from Qi Yan's warp formation plate isn't enough. In fact, whether it was the array formation or the Tai sword array, Gu Qingshan did not have to rely on soul power to master them. With his talent and standard, he could spend some time to slowly ponder and comprehend these things. However, within these 7 days, the suspended world could be destroyed at any moment. There was no time. He had to change his way of thinking and find a new method. Gu Qingshan glanced at the two girls. Release them from their restraints, they were cultivators stronger than him, so they had a huge impact on the current situation. Gu Qingshan deliberated again and made her decision. We're going to do something now. The three girls looked at him. Right now, we're going to look for the forbidden technique to use the spirit shackles. Qing Ro and Wan Er's eyes lit up. Shanu lightly leapt forward and arrived at the row of forbidden techniques, picking up the jade tags one by one and began to look through them. Gu Qingshan also quickly walked over. After looking through a few jade tags, Gu Qingshan suddenly felt that something wasn't right. Turning around, she saw that Qing Ro and Wan Er were still standing there blankly. Gu Qingshan urged them, "Hurry up, we don't have much time." It was now that the two girls regained their senses. Qing Ro squeezed Wan Er's hand. Wan Er also turned to look at Qing Ro and nodded. The two of them quickly came over to help. A few moments later, Wan Er shouted, "I found it!" She held up a jade tag like it was a priceless treasure. Qing Ro took the jade tag and infused it with her inner sight. "You can't. This technique is very strict. No one who is bound by the spirit shackles is allowed to use it," she said. Wan Er also took the jade tag and seriously read through it. "This procedure is too complicated, and it has to be done on the first try. Otherwise, the spirit shackles will enter a locked state and won't be able to be undone for at least 3 years." Wan Er also shook her head. Qing Ro sighed. "It will take a while to learn this technique, and even longer to be able to use it." Gu Qingshan received the jade tag and read through it. Not bad, since he had already grasped the art of formations. He was able to comprehend forbidden techniques by analogy, so he only needed to spend 100 soul points to comprehend this technique. Gu Qingshan closed his eyes for a bit. Then he put the jade tag back. "You can make a copy of this jade tag first." Wan Er didn't even finish her sentence. Gu Qingshan formed a hand seal with one hand while grabbing the spirit shackles on Wan Er's body with the other and pulled. The spirit shackles that were tightly binding Wan Er were thrown to the ground. Wan Er was stunned. She looked down to see that there were still traces of blood left by the chains, but there were no traces of the shackles anymore. Finally, she was free. Wan Er slowly raised her hand and whispered, "Hell Warden, Life Seeker, boom!" Immense spirit energy erupted from her hand, forming a pillar of green flame that reached all the way to the roof. Within the green flame, a tight door could be faintly seen. This was Wan Er's unique technique. In her original world, only Tribulation Realm cultivators were qualified to use it. Her cultivation had been restored. Feeling the boiling spirit energy around her body, Wan Er suddenly screamed. "Oh!" She screamed nonstop. Her tears were like a flood that couldn't be stopped no matter what she did. Seeing that, Shanna was a bit worried. "Gongzi, do you want it?" "No need. She suffered too much. Let her vent for a bit," Gu Qingshan replied. Saying so, he had already walked in front of Qing Ro. Qing Ro bit her lip, her body trembling from nervousness. "That unsealing technique just now must have used up a lot of your spirit energy. Do you want to rest for a bit?" she asked. "Why?" "The unsealing must be done in one go. Otherwise, the spirit shackles will enter a locked state. I'm afraid." "All right, I'll rest for a bit first." Gu Qingshan looked at her and said. The light on Qing Ro's face disappeared. Sighing, "That's how it should be. I'll wait for a bit." Before she even finished, Gu Qingshan had already grabbed the spirit shackles on her and pulled. Clatter, clatter. The spirit shackles fell to the ground. Qing Ro froze. She lowered her head and looked at the deep bruises on her body. Tears flowed down her cheeks. then slid down her chin to the ground. "It's undone," she spoke with relief. Her tone sounded like a long sigh. Powerful spirit energy waves were fluctuating around her body, just like her current mood. As a top-level cultivator of a world, she had to endure such humiliation for such a long period of time. She had already fallen into the abyss of despair. Who would have thought there would be a day of hope? "Big sis." One Air rushed forward and hugged her. "One Air, we're free we." Ching Ro mumbled incoherently and also hugged One Air tightly. The two of them hugged each other and cried. "TCH, let's let them be happy for now. We're going to pick out the formation jade tags," Gu Qingshan said. "Yes, Gongzi," Shanu smiled and replied. She followed Gu Qingshan and left. After they were done picking out the formation jade tags, they went to pick out the other ones. This was Wang Hong Dao's personal collection, so there wasn't a single bad thing here. The only regretful thing was that Wang Hong Dao had too few sword styles. Chapter 519. In a secret chamber, Gu Qingshan held a formation jade slip in each hand, calculating the consumption of her soul power. Right now, his attainments in spirit arrays had already reached the average level of this world. After a while, Gu Qingshan put down the jade tag. Her expression gradually became heavy. The amount of soul power required to practice spirit arrays was simply too much. If he wanted to reach the upper echelons of this world, he would need to expend a large amount of soul power. Qi Yan's formation skills are already at the top of this world. However, to break Qi Yan's two-world warp formation, one must at least surpass Qi Yan in terms of formations. That would require even more soul power. Gu Qingshan glanced at her soul points. He spent another 100 soul points to release the two girls from the spirit shackles. He had 1,003 soul points left. These 1,000 soul points are only enough for him to reach the same level as Qi Yan. If that was the case, there was no way to crack the array disc. Taking a step back, even if he didn't remove the bindings on the two girls, he wouldn't have enough soul power. Was there any other way? Gu Qingshan fell into deep thought. That's right, remove the restraints. If I help Ying Mei and Zhao Wuchui remove their seals, wouldn't they be able to attack together? Qingro, Wan Air, Ying Mei, Zhao Wuchui. Two Tribulation Realm cultivators, two Virtualized Realm cultivators, a total of 4 people. If the 4 of them work together against the heavily injured Wang Hong Dao, there should still be hope. Ying Mei must have hated Wang Hong Dao. This shouldn't be an issue based on how she behaved, as well as other information. Chui Zhao. Among the 3 Hall Masters, his cultivation was the highest. He was a virtualized stage adept, and his combat strength was astonishing. But if Zhao Wuchui really doesn't want to work together with Qi Yan, he can do it on the spot. But he didn't. Looking at it this way, his position was also very clear. Removing the seals on the 2 virtualized realm cultivators was indeed possible. Gu Qingshan immediately walked towards the row of jade slips and began to look for her target. Gongzi, what jade tag are you looking for? Qingro asked. Holding Wan Er's hand, she walked back. There were still traces of tears on her face. The 2 women's expressions were completely different from before. It was as if they had been revitalized, and their entire temperament had changed. Gu Qingshan told him her goal. We'll help you find it. It'll be faster this way, Wanner said. As the 2 women spoke, they stole a glance at him and began to search for the corresponding jade slips. A few moments later, Qingro found one of them. It was Zhao Wuchui's jade tag. There's one more. I didn't see it, Shanna said. Maybe it's on another shelf. We'll split up and look for it, Qingro said. The 3 women split up again to search for the restriction jade slip. Gu Qingshan, on the other hand, was holding the restriction jade slip in her hand and reading it carefully. The surface of this jade slip was wrapped in a layer of black runes, emitting a faint fluctuation of a magic array. Gu Qingshan took a few glances at it and saw that it was entangled with a special restrictive formation. This jade slip was sealed, and no one was allowed to use their spiritual will to explore it. Once his spiritual will touched the jade strip, it would immediately be destroyed. Gu Qingshan didn't give up and looked at the War God UI. 2 lines of glowing text appeared on the interface. Life-devouring rejuvenation insect. This secret technique is sealed. If a cultivator tries to use their inner sight to read it, the jade slip will immediately be destroyed. Reading through it, Gu Qin silently muttered to himself. I knew it. This jade slip can't be studied. Wait a minute. Gu Qin suddenly regained her senses and asked, System, you said that cultivators can't use their inner sight to read the jade slip. But what about you? Can you read the jade slip? The system replied. The system can accept this request, but the system will charge 50 soul points for processing, 100 soul points for labor, 50 soul point for nutrition. Why is there a nutrition fee? Gu Qin was surprised. Searching for the secret technique through this kind of strict restrictive formation is a very frightening task. The system will need soul points to replenish itself and focus on the task. Fine, Gu Qin muttered. Are you sure you want to pay 200 soul points to search for the secret technique? The system asked. Gu Qin hesitated. But then the 3 girls' voices came from behind. Gongzi, we couldn't find the other jade slip. All right, I understand. Gu Qin nodded. Seems like I can't dispel Ying Mei's seal. Should I dispel Zhao Wuchui's seal? Gu Qin thought for a bit. Fine, I'll just dispel it for him. Zhao Wuchui is a virtualized realm martial cultivator. He's extremely strong. If he joins the battle, he'll be of great help. In a split second, Gu Qin made her choice. I'll pay 200 soul points, system. Help me read the secret technique, Gu Qin said. The system quickly responded. Soul points received. Begin reading the secret technique on the jade slip. The secret technique is life-devouring rejuvenation insect. Life-devouring rejuvenation insect. By learning the secret technique, you will learn how to plant life-devouring insects on both yourself and the target. Once the target is infected by this insect, their life force will be linked to yours. Their life essence will slowly become your nourishment. Your lives are linked to each other. When you die, the target will also die with you. But if the target dies, you will not be affected. To learn and comprehend this technique, you will need to spend 500 soul points. Would you like to comprehend this technique? Reading through the text on the War God UI, Gu Qin froze. He felt his heart slowly falling into the abyss. So that's how it is, Gu Qin muttered bitterly. Grand Elder Wang Hongdao is a cruel and suspicious person. With his personality, he would definitely tell Zhao Wuchui the most important part of a life-devouring rejuvenation insect. Your lives are linked to each other. When you die, the target will also die with you. If Wang Hongdao dies, Zhao Wuchui will die with him. As long as Zhao Wuchui doesn't want to die, he won't be able to resist Wang Hongdao's control. But why would Zhao Wuchui collude with Ying Mei, even going so far as to craft a treasure to deal with Wang Hongdao? Why was Zhao Wuchui so supportive when Qi Yin mentioned the New World and said that he wanted to deal with Wang Hongdao? Gu Qin put down the jade scroll and thought quickly. Gu Qin gradually understood as she carefully recalled the scene at that time. Of the 2 hall masters, the one who truly wanted revenge was Ying Mei. From the start, Zhao Wuchui had been trying to get information out of him. In other words, Zhao Wuchui had been acting all along. Zhao Wuchui wouldn't go against Qi Yan's opinion in front of Ying Mei, because Qi Yan offered the New World as a way to survive and even offered to kill Wang Hongdao. This was exactly what Ying Mei wanted. For the past few years, Ying Mei and Zhao Wuchui had also been preparing to kill Wang Hongdao. If Zhao Wuchui goes against Qi Yan, he will be exposing himself. Ying Mei wasn't an idiot. She immediately understood that Zhao Wuchui had been lying to her all these years. If it was just a new world, Zhao Wuchui would be more than willing. But killing Wang Hongdao, Zhao Wuchui's life is tied to Wang Hongdao's. Even if he was forced, he wouldn't want Wang Hongdao to die. If that's the case, Zhao Wuchui would also be done for. That's why when Qi Yin swore to kill Wang Hongdao, Zhao Wuchui was already on Wang Hongdao's side. Zhao Wuchui will definitely tell Wang Hongdao everything. Once Wang Hongdao returns, he'll quickly deal with Qi Yin. As for why Zhao Wuchue has been working with Ying Mei for the past few years, that was most likely Wang Hongdao's idea. Seeing this woman struggling and not being able to escape from his grasp, that's probably what Wang Hongdao likes to do. Thinking through all of this, Gu Qingshan couldn't help but sigh heavily. Gongzi, what's the matter? Shanu came up and asked worriedly. If there's anything, just tell us. Wan Er and I have already recovered our cultivations. We'll be able to help more or less, Qing Ro also said. That's right, Wan Er said. Gu Qingshan looked at them. The three girls nodded. Gu Qingshan shook her head with a bitter smile. I thought I did a good job, but now it seems there's someone even better. What do you mean? Qing Ro asked. Wang Hongdao can probably get any news about the sect at any time, Gu Qingshan answered. The three girls became nervous. How is that possible? Who could do that? Qing Ro asked in confusion. Gu Qingshan sighed. Chapter 520. Gu Qingshan's expression was serious like never before. All of a sudden, the situation took a turn for the worse and became extremely dangerous. The enemy knows everything. They're calculative and have a high cultivation. What do I do now? Gu Qingshan silently thought for a bit. After a while, he took out 2 jade tags. These were the formation manuals that he picked out. At this point, Gu Qingshan had given the system 200 soul points, so he had 803 soul points left. Without hesitation, Gu Qingshan used up all of his soul points and learned all the jade tags he had. A warm flow flowed from the jade tags into Gu Qingshan's body, all the way to his thought sea. Gu Qingshan closed his eyes as countless formation manuals flashed through his mind. His understanding of the Tao of formations gradually deepened. The cultivation civilization of the suspended world was most famous for their formations. To be able to reach this level, he was already in existence that wasn't any weaker than Gong Sun Ji in the cultivation world. Formations were the highest achievement of this world's cultivators. Even Shun Wu world and the cultivation world combined couldn't compare to this world's formations. However, Shun Wu world's smithing was unparalleled, while the cultivation world's resources were abundant. Both worlds had their own unique characteristics. A few moments later, Gu Qingshan opened his eyes. At this moment, he had just reached the level of a first-rate formation user in this world. Although his level was only about the same as Qi Yin and couldn't decipher the world coordinates on the formation plate, he could easily control the majority of this world's formations. Gu Qingshan fell into thought. There's no turning back now. He can't delay any longer. There are some things that he needs to understand clearly. He asked, Qing Ro, Wan Er, I haven't been in this world for long, so there are some things that you need to tell me honestly. This is related to whether or not we can survive. Seeing how serious he was, Qing Ro and Wan Er also became serious. Qing Ro whispered, whatever you want to ask, I'll tell you without holding anything back. Wan Er also spoke. You saved us. I've been wondering how to repay you, so I'll answer whatever you ask. Did any of the big sects that left return? Gu Qingshan asked. The two girls were surprised. This was something they hadn't thought about before. After thinking about it, Warner said, I don't think so. Really? Think about it carefully, Gu Qingshan said. Qing Ro confirmed. I'm very sure no sect has returned to this world. Shanu couldn't help but say, it took so much effort to escape from this world. Any normal sect wouldn't want to return. According to common sense, they should be wandering around, looking for a new world. Gu Qingshan nodded. He continued to ask, since no sects have returned, what about the cultivators? Did any cultivators come back? Cultivator? The two women muttered to themselves and fell into deep thought. Gu Qingshan's question puzzled them. Gu Qingshan then reminded, it doesn't matter if any cultivator has the lowest or the highest realm. As long as they show themselves again, it will count as them returning. It seems like no cultivators have returned. Big sister, what do you think? Saying so, Wan Er looked at Qing Ro with uncertainty. Ever since Wan Er and I were taken to this world, I've never seen a cultivator from a sect return. Qing Ro nodded to Gu Qingshan, expressing that she was very sure of this. Wait a minute, I just remembered something, Wan Er suddenly said. The three of them looked at her. There was once a cryptic realm cultivator who said he was worried. So he took his entire sect and flew away. He tried it himself. He broke through the void and left by himself. He wanted to explore the way. And then Gu Shan immediately asked. And then he never returned. Without him, his sect was no longer able to fight against the other sects and was quickly destroyed, Juan Air explained. Later on, there was a theory that after the realm demon descended, there must have been a problem with space-time. Once a cultivator leaves this world, they'll be sent to an especially far-away place. Never to return again, Qing Ro replied. That's right. This theory was very popular for a while, almost universally accepted. No, that can't be right, Gu Shan spoke in a low voice. What can't be right? Qing Ro asked. If that's really the case, then why was Qi Yin able to travel back and forth freely after obtaining Shun Wu World's coordinates? The two girls were stunned. That's right. Why was Qi Yin able to do that? It's been a very long time since this world has explored a new world. Everyone had already forgotten about the fixed way of traveling between two worlds. Gu Shan slowly explained. The coordinates of this world should have been determined long ago when the cultivators conquered countless worlds. They also used that to create a large-scale tribulation formation in the space vortex. If they know the coordinates of another world, the cultivators only need to create a world warp formation to teleport there. If that's the case, after they left, they must have brought the coordinates of this world with them, so they can teleport back the two. Girls couldn't say anything. That's right. They couldn't refute any of Gu Shan's words. But Gu Shan's eyebrows slowly scrunched up. A terrifying guess silently appeared in her mind. Even someone as experienced as Gu Shan couldn't help but feel anxious. I think, even if the majority of people aren't willing to return, there will always be a few cultivators who want to come back and take a look, he said. Gongzi, what do you mean? Qing Ro followed his train of thought and asked. Gu Shan waved her hand to signal her not to say anything else. He casually took out a high-grade formation plate. In just a few breaths' worth of time, he had arranged a small-scale, soundproofing formation in the secret room. This kind of formation wasn't difficult for him at all. Sound wouldn't be able to pass through the formation. Gu Shan thought for a bit, but still didn't say anything. If that guess is correct, then it's best not to say anything. He only used his inner sight to transmit his voice. All the sects have left this world through the void. I think there's a problem here, and a very terrifying one at that. He suddenly felt anxious. He paced back and forth in the secret room, his steps becoming faster and faster. The three girls silently stood on one side, watching him without interrupting his thoughts. At a certain point, Gu Shan suddenly said, No, we can't wait any longer. We have to leave right now. Gongzi, you have a vow to heaven and earth. You have to kill Wang Hongdao. Juan Air said. Not to mention, without the world coordinates, where can we go? Qing Ro asked. Gu Shan froze. That terrifying event made him so anxious for the first time in his life that he forgot even the most basic of things. It was very rare for Gu Shan to be this confused. Gu Shan sighed and said, Cryptic realm. Even if we fight together, we still won't be able to win. Qing Ro took his hand and spoke with a resolute expression. If this is the only way, I'm willing to fight by your side. Me too. Juan Air loudly said. Shanna didn't say anything and only nodded. Right now, we need to gather our thoughts and come up with a solution, Gu Shan said. But Wang Hongdao is cryptic realm. No matter what kind of plan we come up with, it's probably useless against him, Juan Air dejectedly said. Gu Shan pointed at her, then looked at Qing Ro. The two of you are both Tribulation Realm great cultivators, as well as former top-notch figures of your respective worlds. You need to think of a solution, since this is related to our lives. Shanu, after living for so many years, you're also a knowledgeable person. You should think about it as well, hearing him say that. The three girls had no choice but to use their minds to think of a solution. I suggest we use an airship to escape, Juan Air said. An airship won't do. Qing Ro rejected it right away. From what we know, a cryptic realm cultivator's movement speed is extremely fast, at least faster than an airship. An airship is fine. Juan Air still wanted to say something else. Gu Shan cut her off. An airship really won't do. We need at least a cultivator at Wang Hong Dao's level to stay on the airship to make sure that the other Wang Hong Dao can't catch up. Then I can't think of anything. Wan Er lowered her head. Then, Qingro contemplated. Gu Qingshan just looked at her and didn't say anything to stop her from thinking. Qingro was a very smart female cultivator, so she might be able to come up with something that would make people's eyes light up. Wang Hong Dao is a calculative person, but from what I've seen so far, he's someone who values his own life a lot, she said. Go on, Gu Qingshan said. Qingro thought for a bit, then said, we need to think of a way to lower the floating island a bit closer to the realm demon. That way Wang Hong Dao himself will be afraid and won't come to this island again. Gu Qingshan facepalmed and didn't say anything. That's right, he doesn't need to come to this island. He only needs to push it down a bit, Shanna muttered. Qingro's face went red, as if embarrassed that she suggested such a bad idea. Shanna, what do you think? Gu Qingshan asked again. Gongzi, I've seriously thought about it, Shannu answered. And then? What's your plan? Shanna changed the topic and asked seriously, Gongzi, what do you think a sword's responsibility is? Cut. Yes, so I won't do anything like using my head. Fine. Gu Qingshan could only sigh. Seems like I didn't get anything out of it. Qingro suddenly asked, Gongzi, do you have any ideas? Gu Qingshan thought for a bit, then hesitantly said, I have a not-so-good idea, so I want to hear your opinions first to see if there's any that can replace my idea. What idea? Why don't you tell us? Wan Er asked with interest. Gu Qingshan only said a single thing. The three girls went silent. After a while, Qingro calmed down and said, Gongzi, your idea can't be considered an idea. Chapter 5:21. Let's rewind time a bit. When Gu Qingshan went to Incense Hall to look for a scripture on formations, Ying Mei and Zhao Wuchui also left the platform. Zhao Wuchui returned to his room. He opened all the formations before closing the gate to his courtyard. Going through a long hallway and a garden, Zhao Wuchui entered his cultivation room. He lowered his head and silently stood there for a while. Right now, no one was going to disturb him. All distracting thoughts, people, and matters were left outside the cultivation room. Zhao Wuchui rubbed his face with both hands. He slowly relaxed. A new world, Zhao Wuchui muttered. After a while, he sighed regretfully. Damn it, why did you swear to kill Wang Hong Dao? Bam! He struck the wall with his fist, causing the entire wall to be pushed back a bit. Below the wall, a dark path appeared. Zhao Wuchui stood there blankly for a while before continuing down the path. He walked all the way to the depths of the ground and stood in front of a large formation. Taking out a few dozen spirit stones, Zhao Wuchui showed a regretful expression. Every spirit stone he used, he had one less. But now he had no choice but to use them. Zhao Wuchui inserted 7 spirit stones into the holes of the large-sized formation. The formation was activated, letting out a faint ring. The soft humming continued for a while, but there was no change. Zhao Wuchui became nervous. It can't be, he couldn't help but put his hand on his heart. His heartbeat was normal. A few moments later, a painful cough came from the formation. It wasn't until he heard the cough that Zhao Wuchui calmed down. He didn't dare to breathe too loudly, silently waiting. The cough slowly disappeared. What replaced it was an angry voice. Didn't I tell you not to bother me unless it's urgent? This voice seemed to be extremely impatient, and there was even a hint of pain in it. I really do have something important to report, Zhao Wuchui carefully said. Something important? What kind of bullshit important could it be? Fine, tell me. Zhao Wuchui then told it everything. What? You said Qi Yin has 2 new worlds? The impatience from before completely disappeared. The voice from the formation became excited. Yes, I have confirmed that, Zhao Wuchui respectfully replied. Very good, very good. I'll be right back. The old voice immediately replied. But your injuries, it doesn't matter. The other side sneered. I can even kill his father, let alone a little brat like him. The old voice changed. However, Ying Mei's treasure artifact, how is it? Don't worry, Shifu. I've already done something. Qian won't be able to use those two things to deal with you, Zhao Wuchue said. That's good. Where's Qian? I'm afraid he's still in the incense accumulating hall, reading the cultivation method jade slips. You did a good job on this point. This way, you can stabilize him first. He won't be able to learn anything in a short time anyway. The old voice became natural. That's enough. I'll send him to see his father. Zhao Wuchue spoke worriedly, but I still couldn't get anything out of him, and I don't know the coordinates of the New World coordinates. I'll think of something like that myself. I need to return immediately. The voice cut off at this point. Zhao Wuchue stood blankly in front of the formation for a while. He seemed to be thinking about something. I'm only doing this to survive. None of you can blame me for this, he muttered to himself. At the same time as he spoke, Guangyang sect. In the sky, at the top of the quarantine formation, a figure appeared. It was an old man with a gloomy gaze. Wang Hongdao. He wore a gray robe. The sleeves of his robe were stained with dark red blood. There was a ghastly wound on his shoulder. A sharp golden light was attached to the wound, making it so that it couldn't heal at all. In the air, a faint mist of blood drifted from the wound. Chiroya, on the road to Huang Quan, you don't need to wait for this old man. I will definitely recover. Wang Hongdao uttered a begrudging whisper and formed a hand seal. Countless gray figures appeared from all directions of the floating island, flying in front of Wang Hongdao. The gray figures revealed themselves. They were cultivator corpses with blank eyes. Wang Hongdao's hand seal changed slightly. Following his hand seal, the corpses all opened their mouths. Clusters of gray mist came out from the corpses' mouths, gathered together, and formed a giant mass of gray mist. This giant mass of gray mist slowly seeped into Wang Hongdao's body. Wang Hongdao moaned in pain, but the wound on his shoulder had clearly healed quite a bit. After doing that, Wang Hongdao wiped the sweat off his forehead. Who is Wu San? He asked with a hoarse voice. A corpse with a twisted neck floated in front of him. Wang Hongdao squinted his eyes, carefully observing Wu San's corpse. Sainted Realm? But he didn't even dare to fight. After being knocked unconscious, his neck was broken without any warning, such a useless thing. Keeping him alive is a waste of spirit energy, Wang Hongdao sighed. He took out a furry purple bug out of nowhere and flicked it with his hand. The purple bug landed next to Wu San's ear and quickly crawled into it. A few moments of silence. Wu San slowly began to move. Cluck, cluck. He twisted his neck forcefully, producing a series of crisp sounds. No need to try. His neck is completely broken. You won't be able to reattach it, Wang Hongdao said. Wu San stopped trying. He opened his eyes. His pupils couldn't be seen, only the whites of his eyes. The corpse parasite demon bug had taken over his body. What does Master want to know? Wu San asked. His mouth was still moving. Did Qi Yin really find another world? It's true. Why didn't he go? Afraid, why did Qi Yin kill him? I'm not sure. I only know that Zhao Wuchue and Ying may use soul reading on him. Seems like it was the silence, and Wang Hongdao smiled deeply. Unfortunately, this brat doesn't know. Even if he's dead, I still have a way to make him talk. Master, is it over? Wu San asked. Not yet. You need to remember where exactly the coordinates of the New World are, Wang Hongdao said. Wu San closed his eyes and fell into a daze. Seems like this level of demon bug isn't enough, Wang Hongdao muttered. He spat out some blood. The blood gathered in the air and turned into a ball of blood. Wang Hongdao's chest opened up. A white insect about the size of an arm flew out and swallowed the ball of blood. Wang Hongdao caught the white insect and stuffed it into Wu San's mouth. The white insect crawled inside. A few moments later, Wu San opened his eyes again. He spoke with a stiff voice. According to this body's memories, Qi Yin didn't want to tell anyone else the coordinates of the New World. Only Qi Yin himself knows. Wang Hongdao froze. Only Qi Yin knows? Zhao Wuchue said. That doesn't add up. Wang Hongdao carefully recalled what Zhao Wuchue said. Qi Yin clearly swore an oath to heaven and earth to prove that he really didn't know the coordinates of the New World. He said that he already hid the coordinates of the new world away, so that anyone who tried to touch him wouldn't be able to find it. But Wu San, as Qi Yan's trusted aide, said that the coordinates were in Qi Yan's hands. Wang Hongdao thought about it for a bit and understood. It was very simple. The coordinates of the two new worlds were indeed in Qi Yan's hands. But an oath to heaven and earth can't be wrong. So the truth should be, to ensure his own safety, Qi Yan gave the coordinates to someone else for safekeeping. But Wu San didn't know about what Qi Yan did. Wu San was only a subordinate, so he thought the coordinates were in his master's hands. Seems like that was the truth of the matter. Wang Hongdao nodded. In the entire Guangyang sect, as long as he wants to know something, no one can hide it from him. Wu San stared at Wang Hongdao. Wu San asked, "Can we end it now?" "Oh right, the sainted realm corpse, can I eat it?" "Wait a bit," Wang Hongdao replied, and continued to think. That brat Qi Yan is quite the sharp one. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.